should be able to hear you guys.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I am Spence. Welcome to this impromptu Weave the Tail change of programming. So I am Spence. I'm the Eldritch Weaver of the channel and also the what did we call me? The administrative admin. And with me are several other team members of Weave the Tail. And given what is going on in the United States today, we all felt called to action. We're all rolling for initiative, as it were, to to be there for each other in the best way that we know how. And that is to raise funds for groups that actually do advocacy, treatment, and preventative measures as well. So we are supporting Planned Parenthood today with this impromptu but chill stream. And we're not really going to talk about what is going on. Instead, we are going to do a game that is about connection. But before we get into the game, let's go ahead and have everybody introduce themselves once again, and we'll get started. So, hey, Darby. Hi, Darby.
Hello, hi. My name is Darby. You can find me on the internet as Chaotic Darby. And yeah, I use she, her pronouns, and I'll pass it along to Nikki because you're next to me.
I'm Nikki. You can find me at Beholder to No One on the interwebs or at chaotic, the number wonderful, also on the interwebs. And I also use she, her pronouns. I get Taylor. Your turn.
Me. Yeah, I am at underscore potato underscore. Also everyone there now where you find me. But mostly just here and at High Shelf Collective. I'm trying to do like the social thing more. I'm working on it.
And if I hadn't stated it, I am at Resonant Moon on the interwebs and I use they, them pronouns. So, before we get started with this game, we all have a lot of feelings. And so, what I would like everybody to do, we're all going to mute our mics in a couple of moments. If you are able to do so, I'm going to give us a countdown from 5 to 1, and we're going to let out primal, guttural, angry yell. If you cannot do that, I encourage you to go into chat and just spam the chat with angry emojis. Just let it all out. All right? So, everybody get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Feels good. I want to do it on a mountain.
Yeah. I unfortunately scared my kitties, but now they're just going back to sleep because they're used to my shenanigans. Okay. So, what are we playing? We are playing a wonderful game that was picked up from Target called We're Not Really Strangers. We're Not Really Strangers is a card-based game that is meant to create connection with a person that you're hanging out with. Well, we have four people that we kind of know each other from our work together and from playing games together, but we don't know each other that well, but we might have more in common than we realize. So this game is there are three types of cards that can be drawn. The first type of card is a perception card. So, um do you know how others see you? So this is about gaining perspective on what first impressions we give and challenging assumptions we make about others. The second um, level is connection. who are you really? And so you can ask some rare, deeper questions. And the third level is reflection. So you get to reflect on your game experience. You get to reflect on things that you may or may not have thought about um, before. We're going to use a d6 to choose what level, and we're just going to go round robin. Anybody who wants to answer the question can do so. Anybody who doesn't want to doesn't have to. So who wants to start us off with the first roll?
I'll do it.
Do it.
3.
3. All right. Here we go. What do you think we fear the most?
We being other people.
Yes, the other people on this call.
I honestly have no idea.
You all should know what my worst fear is. You all have played in games with me.
I'm bad at this.
It's okay. Does anybody else want to guess?
Just general, like, I mean,
Yeah.
like out like Nikki's with like dolls things, like those kind of like creepy
Yeah.
things, or like, oh god, existential dread.
I mean, either or, really.
Well, everyone knows one of mine, Mitch. It's literally my line, like number 1 line in every game I play in.
Yep. And yes, chat, you can answer. For me, mine is uh m- my deepest fear is zombies. That is my line in all of my games.
You would not like red markets.
I'm trying to think of like a like, I thankfully, I guess I'm not a super fearful person when it comes to like, like spiders don't bug me, snakes don't bug me, like kind of like the usuals.
Mhm.
I have like the deeper fear of like, losing control of your mind, like dementia
Yeah.
terrifies me. I don't ever want that to happen to me. Like
Oh
that sort of
yeah.
thing. I guess small spaces, I'm claustrophobic. That's a more common fear. Like if even just the like blankets wrap around my legs too much, I freak out.
Does anybody have a ridiculous fear?
I have an
Besides dolls.
oddball
Besides,
one.
go for it.
I have a very deep fear of flies, like the big like bottle flies. I loathe those things for a couple reasons, but uh, I get so extremely uncomfortable and jittery if there's one in the room, and it is like probably the most annoying fear that I have. Because I also I'm afraid of heights. As I found out, unfortunately, when I got on top of a very tall building and then looked down, I'm like, and the Seoul Tower in Korea has glass floors. I'm like, oh, that'd be, and I literally like collapsed on the floor looking
Oh
down, like,
no.
That's like a different, like real mindfucky thing though, where you see your feet and not a ground
yeah,
for like it's I mean, I'm even thinking just like Sears Tower in Chicago just has like that little bit of a
yeah,
lip. And I remember getting like skis out about it, and heights normally don't super bother me
yeah,
until I get to the point of like, I'm gonna fall off of
yeah.
this.
But
Mine
those are
is
like, yeah, that's a
You
pretty
know.
controllable fear. The fly one is pretty fucking annoying because it'll be like, oh, I'm in a restaurant and there's like a fly in the room. I spend the entire meal watching that fly instead of doing anything else.
Would not have done well in my apartment last week when I was having a full out assault every day on the flies.
Yes, I recall having you complain about them.
I figured it out. There's a little bit of a gap in like the waterproofing in the window, or like the
Wow.
weatherproofing that they were getting in, so we got that fixed.
Mhm.
I know. I think one of the more ridiculous ones that I have, which I don't even know why it's still there, but every once in a while, I get that little panic that there's something under the bed
Mm.
if it's dark specifically. Like, and I'll have to
Mm-hmm.
like rush and jump into my bed basically to like just be like, I'm safe. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Even though like I know there's nothing under there. It's just it hits
Mhm.
every once in a while.
It's just sometimes, or when your leg like is out of the blanket and they're like, wait, what if?
Almost as
I
scared
was
of.
a scaredy kid. I don't know what happened that I grew up and all of those finally went away, but I remember being terrified of everything as a
Same.
child.
I am
I'm scared for-
terrified of clowns,
Mm.
and I have a
Yes,
story
so am
behind
I.
it. So, I grew up in the Netherlands. I think I've told you all. And so when summers would come, if I didn't come to the States to hang out with my dad, I would go to Girl Scout camp in Germany. And one year they brought us to the circus. And this was in the 90s. So there were still some tensions about US presence. And this one clown saw us and thought that we were all dumb Americans and didn't speak German and started cursing at us in German in very graphic detail. And I spoke fluent German. So
Oh no.
yeah, in my subconscious, I know it's not every clown,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's one jackass.
but this one jackass, Nazi clown.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
all clowns in the back of my head
I bet.
provoke that visceral fear for me.
Mine, I feel like I was that was one of my bigger fears when I was little. And I mean, still they make me uneasy, but it was one of those like my grandma and my mom thought it'd be fun to take me at like 3. Like I was way too young for like a high energy like circus. It was like the Barnum bus, Barnum,
Oh,
Barnum
whatever,
and
Barnum.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Barnum and Bailey um thing. And the show started with cannon fire and then all the clowns running out into the audience from like back in like the hallways and stuff, and I'm like 3 and I hate loud noises still to this day. And so like I hated fireworks, and this cannon boom set me over the edge, and I was like freaking out about that. And then like clown sees little kid upset, tries to make you feel better,
Doesn't make you feel better.
does not make me feel better.
Your
And so it was like
exaggerated
a
features
long
are
time.
disturbing.
Yeah. And now I'm just uneasy because I'm like, you're in face paint. I don't know what you actually look like. And that makes me concerned.
You
Yes.
are your mute.
Yeah.
Yes, Mitch. Circuses are going extinct.
Mm.
But Soleil still exists, and their work is beautiful.
Cirque du
Um,
Soleil is
Yes.
great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched
yeah.
a couple of those shows when I was like a
Mhm.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
I forget
Okay.
which ones though.
All right. So who wants to roll next?
I'll take the next one.
Let's go.
So remind me, what do I need to do?
Roll a d6.
Which if great, dropping garbage all over the place. My desk is a mess.
We're not prepared for this at all.
Yoink.
This is our rush to help.
3, baby.
All right, another reflection. In one word, how would you describe? It says our conversation, but I'm going to say our stream.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Sums up every single one ever.
Determined.
Mm,
I like it.
I like that one. I like that one. Chaotic, determined. I want to say like insightful, but not necessarily because our topics. But I feel like every stream at least I've been a part of this, like you get a little like community, a little insight on other people, on maybe a topic.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a fun topic, you think about things
Yeah.
for yourself.
Exploratory is the one that I'm also thinking of in that same vein of like my favorite games to run are the games that or run or play are games that dig into your humanity.
Yeah.
Yep, love that.
Mhm.
Okay. Tay, I think that means it's your turn.
Just me. All my dice are still in the living room. I forgot to go grab it. So we're gonna virtual die.
Virtual die.
4.
Okay, so we're gonna say that that's a 1, which is perception. Okay.
And another reflection.
Do we feel like dancing? Okay, I'm gonna draw a different card then.
I'm physically incapable of organized movement in a larger portion of my body. I'm very good with instruments and like making things, but if you're asking me to like move my body to a rhythm, you have better luck of
Okay.
sucking the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next card is ask and answer the next question in a different accent than your own.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. So now it's my turn. 2. So we have the 2, and I'm going to use my German accent because that is, we were just talking about Germany, and I miss Germany and the Netherlands. What title would you give this chapter in your life?
Oh, real quick, can I interrupt to say thank you, Captain Caffeine.
Oh, Captain Caffeine, thank you so much.
You're the best. You're the best.
Nice.
Oh. It didn't even jingle for me. Why did you know jingle?
Well, the money don't jiggle. It folds.
Oi, eh?
My money don't jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle, for sure. And make me wanna dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6 feet 2 in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine.
I knew the actual dance. There's some with the fold.
Yeah, I just flailed my body. Hey, that answered that question. Do we feel like
Maybe
dancing?
danced
We just
anyway.
sort of wiggled. That
You got a
is
bonus there.
that is exactly how I would describe my ability to dance.
Okay, but we must do the accents. So
We must do the accent, or you must do the accent.
but you
I
have
can't
to
do German. I
answer.
can do an accent.
It says an accent. An accent. It doesn't have to be my accent. It can be someone else's
I'm about
accent.
to insult all of Australia. I'm so sorry.
But the question again was, what title would you give this chapter in your life?
I think mine would be the confused 30-something-year-old starting over from scratch. That's a brand new mom. It's just it's a longer title that like goes on to page 2, but it's
Allah.
just confused.
I think this is a great chapter for you, Nikki.
We're gonna hope. It's like the only accent I have is so like
I know, but see, now that you did that, I want
also
to do
wanna do a
Southern. I'm like, I
Southern
can't. I
accent,
gotta
yeah.
do something else. I gotta do something else now because it's just there. But then also my other fallback is British, but they're so similar, like British and Southern, and some of their dialects. I fall into the other, so I can't do it.
UK about to fight Texas right now.
Oh no, I mean like vowel sounds are similar and stuff.
You want to be a pirate?
Well, I can do a semi-Russian, so I'm going to go with this. Well, I think that my chapter title would be more along the lines. Totally lost, colon. Making the best of it, colon. Looking to the horizon, exclamation point.
Excellent. Wunderbar. Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
that is I lost my accent. Fuck.
You were a Southern belle.
You watched on Southern, so now I guess it's mine. You gave it up. You can do it again.
I heard Russian and my brain just like forgot what a Southern accent is.
It's so hard when I mean, obviously none of us are actors, like having to put on an accent while someone else has a different accent. I'm like, I'm concentrating so hard on the 3 or 4 things I know about the one accent that then when you do something different, I'm like,
No, wait, brain explode.
but you did not say the vis.
Sweet honey child, that's too many colons in that. Bless your heart. But that is way too many colons in that sentence. That's not how grammar works.
Well, your title was a whole page, so.
Well, thou shalt not judge, right?
Uh, mine would be a queer blue spot in the middle of a red sea.
Oh. I like.
That is surprisingly fitting and kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's accurate, as they say in this part of the world.
If it's a long title, then it's an anime. Oh, can I change that? Mine is the same thing. I'll take out the colons. I'll make it proper sentences, but I take out all of the vowels. So it is a Fallout Boy title.
Darby, do you have one or no?
I think we stole all her accents that she was going to use.
See, because now you all have left me with my truly worst accent that I have left, which is an Australian accent. So I'm sorry to all of Australia for this. Oh boy, hold on, I gotta get into it. Good day.
Crikey.
Shrimp on the barbie. Crikey, mate. I struggling to think of a chapter in my
Chapter.
I watch so much Australian reality TV and I can't even do an accent. I'm sorry. I
Got a new Canadian there.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
this way.
F. Dangos. Crikey. Good day.
Is that your title?
This is me trying to get into the Australian accent.
That's the name of it.
Horror
You trying to get
dies
into an
unless
Australian
digital accent changes permanently to Australian. I feel like I'd be stoking some fires, given Evans. Where Evans from? I don't think. I would call this chapter in my life. See what fucking sticks chapter? Or
I like it. I changed my title.
Bobby, shrimp on the barbecue. Fuck. Good day, mate. Crikey. Dango. Shrimp on the barbie. Can you tell which are my stick?
Your anchor words.
My anchor words. Let this end. Let's move on. I said it. I answered the question.
You did your best. Bless your heart.
Hi.
Bless your heart. You did
I'm
your best.
sorry to everyone from Australia, New Zealand, and anyone who had to hear that.
I hope you are not paying attention to chat. Nikki, give us a roll, please.
I'm going to say that was a 5.
That was a 5, so that's going to be a 2 for connection. Nope, I'm not. I'm vetoing that one. It was reveal an embarrassing thing about yourself, and I was like, I don't think that's a thing we should do.
Oh, I mean, I'll embarrass myself on the internet for charity. Like,
most of the embarrassing things I do are caught on camera, so you know.
That's true. Okay, here we go. So this one is: when was the last time you surprised yourself?
I sneezed, and that surprised me.
I was going to
Miles.
join in. I think recently, and I don't know if it's like a necessarily a moment, just I've been surprising myself more recently, especially being in kind of like that freelance state and like doing shit by my own terms of like how much I can just like take charge.
Mhm.
You know, I've always just been very like, yeah, you know, go with the flow, whatever. But being put in more situations, I'm like, I'm fight for what's right.
Rah.
I think my most recent one was when I officially came out publicly on Facebook, despite all of my family being on there, and basically just said, you know what? I don't give a shit anymore. Fuck anybody who says otherwise. Here you go. Vent, 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 vent.
Nice. Congrats.
Big
Yay!
shock. Particular family members have not liked that post. I am so shocked by this.
I cannot believe this.
I
Oh,
am
I
no,
am
too.
turn
so
of events.
surprised. For me, mine was not as breathtaking. It was I fixed a clog in my bathtub by myself.
It's awesome though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love when I can just like there was one day I just learned how to change my car battery on YouTube. And I was like, I did it.
Wow!
Take that. Oh, I'm
Wow!
sorry. Did I yell? Did I
That's my
scare you?
favorite
Oh, I'm
thing is
sorry.
when you just like teach yourself how to do something. Like
Mm-hmm.
technically
Yeah.
that's my normal things. That was the latest one, but like just I want that. I'm gonna teach myself how to do that.
Yeah.
Teach yourself does it. Never does it again.
Never do it. Never gonna do it. Never gonna do it. Okay.
You look so unhappy by this forced love.
Oh. See, if I were to grab my cats, they would give me new scars, and then I would look more like the barbarian I want to be in real life.
Yeah.
So, hey, Darbs, it's your role.
Boo-doo. 6.
Okay, so that is another reflection card.
The name of a great
Ooh.
musical.
B. The only song I know from that musical is the Get Down
Oh my god.
song.
So
So good.
freaking good, though.
Yeah. Okay, what answer that we have given so far has made you light up?
Bro, I can't even remember what I fucking look like if I'm not looking at my video camera. What do you mean?
No, I mean like what has made you like smile that
The
what
accent.
Oh, the accent
Yeah.
one was pretty good. The accent one was pretty good.
all the accents. It's not even the answer, it's just the accents.
Dude, and I again apologize to anyone from Australia who had to hear that. Beck, I know your internet might be out still. Apologies.
Hey, guess what?
That's
It's your
me.
role. It's your role.
Dose.
Dose. That is connection. What question are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
What am I not?
Dude, fucking whammy question. Jesus
Such
Christ.
a mood.
I think probably the most burning kind of question in general is more like who am I? Like I'm comfortable in who I am as like a person and my feelings and my thoughts and like those sort of things. But it's like, you know, where does that fit along with like career and those sort of things? Because I've, you know, had a lot of like mix up and changes in the last couple of years that has kind of thrown all of that out. So I've kind of been sticking by like who I am internally, but like who am I externally, I guess,
Yeah.
is kind of where I'm at.
Understandable.
Mhm.
I think for me, and this is brought on by a book that I've been working on this week. Um, it's how do I go from someone who is externally motivated, so like being motivated by likes and comments and shares and all that other stuff, to someone who is purpose driven and purpose motivated, because I want to live a life that I'm happier with, and that also helps the world around me.
Yeah.
And so when this
that.
book is out, I'll tell you all about it. But
Yeah.
Mm. Mine is probably is what I'm doing plausible to continue to succeed in a fashion that will allow me to continue to not be in a corporate office? Slash, if there's a secondary question, how the fuck do I stop getting anxious over stupid shit that my brain tells me is bad, but it's not, and logically I know it's not, and it's just if it would shut the fuck up, I'd know that things were okay, but no.
I have a brain dump document for that.
I had one of those too, and then I just send it to my therapist and be like, sorry.
Well, like, a perfect example is what day was it? I don't remember what day it was, but it was the other day. And my husband's supposed to be home by like 5:30, maybe 6 max. So I look at the clock, it's 6 o'clock. Not home. So I call him, goes straight to voicemail because his phone died. I'm like, oh, okay. Cue panic starts to escalate every minute that passes by.
Mhm.
By an hour after calling him 15 times, even though I knew his phone was dead, and looking up every possible accident there could have possibly been on any direction that he could have possibly gone on the way home, he finally comes home at like 7:15, an hour and 15 minutes later, me in pure panic mode. Oh, he was at
boy.
Target. And like logically, I knew he was fine. And I'm like, he's probably just went somewhere. He probably just went to go do something right after, and his phone's dead and he can't tell you. But like, illogically, he was the car I looked up that just got pushed off of the bridge like 4 hours ago, even though that wasn't when he was on the bridge.
Mhm.
And then I got really high after that, so I could calm the fuck down.
Brain weasels, man. They need to stop. Mitch's question is, when will I not be drowning? And the answer to that, Mitch, is when you stop taking on 8 million projects.
When will I stop overcommitting?
Yes.
That's a better question.
That's there it is.
The answer, though, for both of
Same.
us is probably never.
Probably
Never.
never. Probably
Mhm.
never.
When I
because
die.
I do things to not focus on other things I don't want to think about.
Yeah.
So if I'm stressed about like, oh my god, I have so much work to do, I'm not stressed about like, oh my god, I'm a freaking mental wreck.
If I'm too
That-
busy,
right
I
there.
Don't do what I
have
do.
to... If I'm busy, I can't feel sad. I'll just
If I'm
feel
always in
tired.
character, I'm not depressed.
Yeah.
Unless you give your characters depression.
Dun,
who would do
dun,
that?
dun. Me.
Who
But they're
would
depressed about something else.
who would make their own neuroses into a character and then have it walk around and act like a person? Couldn't be
See,
any of us.
I take one and give it to one character, one give it to another. So at least I don't have to like confront them all with one character. I could be like, this one's anxiety.
What's that
this
like?
one's this. This one's this.
I girl bossed way
This
too
one
close.
doesn't like to do feelings.
Yeah. Yep.
But then we'll make out with the first mate of the ship after nearly getting eaten by a dinosaur. I don't know.
I mean,
anything
that's a
about that.
perfect time to
Sounds legit.
make out. Yeah.
Oh man, it was great. It was perfect.
I would like to make out.
Okay. Mwah. Okay.
Did it.
Is it my turn? I think it's my
Uh-huh.
turn. Okay. That is a 3. We like these reflection questions. Ooh. What can I help you with?
Ooh.
I'm doing a cop out one,
Oh dear.
and it's editing that one episode for me that I already asked you to edit.
Said yes to.
Cop out.
I think like any conversation with you, even if it is on like heavier topics, is always like really enjoyable, and you like walk away feeling like really good after. I think just keep doing that. Just like someone to talk to, just like, whether it's good or bad topics, you don't make someone feel worse about
Aw.
things that some people sometimes do when you try to talk to them about stuff. So
Yeah.
some good friend vibes. Happy times.
Let's see.
Hello, Katrina.
Hello. Welcome to our chill out fundraiser where we are raising funds in response to what's happening in the States because we like protecting people who can reproduce and may not necessarily want to. I think it's Nikki's turn.
I'm sorry, I just went on Twitter and saw a post and then saw it was from The Onion, and I was about to get really mad before I saw it was from The Onion.
That happens to me so many times. I'm like, what? Oh, it's the Onion. Okay.
4.
4. That is perception. Okay, so I'm going to change this one because this is definitely a 101. But do you think anybody on this call intimidates others? Why or why not?
I am intimidated by most people, to be honest. Like, all 3 of you. Hey, yeah, no, that's correct, Mitchell. I am not intimidating no, get rid of that also, Darby. I'm not intimidating in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I'm still Coop.
Yeah, Tay, you are no longer Tay. You are always Coop. You will never not be
I just
Coop.
always Coop. Yeah, she's the most.
I think so. I don't think I am anymore, but I think I was intimidated by Spence at first when I didn't know you very well. But I think it was because the first time I met you was in a meeting.
Yeah.
So it was super serious, like you were keeping everybody in line and making sure we followed through. So I was like slightly like I didn't know what the vibe was yet because I didn't actually get to.
Mitch says he's still intimidated by me. I think that's hilarious.
But now it's like I think it's cool. Like I think I think if you were mad, you could be very intimidating.
Oh, be glad y'all have never seen me mad. I turn into a hot mess. When I'm mad.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm only intimidating if like. I know somebody else is supposed to answer, but like if one of my few like hot topics are touched on.
Mm-hmm.
So like fat shaming is one of them. Telling someone not to eat is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Currently in the today's society, the whole if someone dare fucking says, "Oh, just put them up for adoption," I will slug someone in the face, and I am not confrontational.
Yeah.
Because having adopted, that is not the fucking answer. Because there's 424,000 kids in the U.S. currently in foster care.
Our foster care system fucking blows. It sucks ass. And also, like, as if carrying a child pregnancy is scary, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong with your body. Like, not to mention, like, all this shit. Like, it can be extremely, like, morning sickness fucking blows, man. Nausea, it all sucks. It fucking blows, and then you're dealing with that for 9 fucking months. Not to mention the whatever happens during the birth. It fucking sucks. It's so dumb when people it is very frustrating when people say just leave them out for adoption. Like, that's a fucking solution. Then
thank you
adopt them. Oh yeah,
thank you, Katrina.
Thank you for the donation. We're at 100.
What are words?
What are
things?
I am surprised that you all are intimidated by me.
Was.
or was, but still, like, yeah, I have the mom voice down pat, but I'm intimidated by all of y'all for various reasons. Namely, you know, Nikki's organizational skills, Tay's graphic skills, Darby's initiative and social media skills. It's like, it's amazing. You all are amazing, and I am very glad that we are all in each other's orbit, because we are more powerful together. We will create Voltron, and then we will take over the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm just not that scary. I'm really not.
I'm not
I just
either.
I play
get a lot of
scary on the
people-
internet.
Yeah, I can be like assertive and mean, and then like in character I can play an evil, intimidating bitch, but in person I'm just like, like, who care? But I mean, I am nearly 6 foot tall. I'm 5'11". I've been this tall since 8th grade. I had a growth spurt the summer of 7th to 8th and then into 9th grade. And so I've been this freaking tall forever. And I got a little bit of a grump face. And so a lot of people's first impressions are like, I thought you're a bitch, or like being a Tim, just because I'm just like a big presence and I'm like, whatever. I'm bothered.
I do get quite a few comments about people who see like my resting face and they're just like, "Are you upset?" I'm like,
Mhm.
"No."
I
Are you
get
not
that when
having
I
fun?
zone
I'm
out.
like, "No, I'm having fun." Well, you're not like laughing a whole bunch and being like super. I'm like, I don't do that. Now
Yeah.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, I was like,
I
I
was
I
fine
am
before.
rude.
I feel like I have
Yeah.
resting depression face because like I get so many. I get the "Are you okay?" comments so many times when I'm just like staring out, just not really thinking about anything. People are like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Did something happen?" I'm like, like, what do you mean? I'm fine. I'm just thinking. I'm just
Yeah.
dumb. Not a single thought is
I'm not,
rolling
like-
through this head.
Plastering a smile on my face to make you feel better. Sorry.
I don't know how to smile good, so I'm just gonna. You know.
Is this working for you? Is this
Twitch.
Oh.
Darby, I think it's your role.
Yeet! 1.
Yay!
This would suck if we were playing Powered by the Apocalypse, but we're not.
It really would. Okay. What does your phone wallpaper tell us about you?
Looks at phone to see what my wallpaper
Which
is.
which one's the wallpaper? Is that the one? No, it's the one. It's the one where you log into the phone.
Yeah. So like this is mine. Yeah, this is
That's
mine.
pretty.
It would tell you that I'm super into my partner.
Aww.
Oh,
It's a really good photo.
Wow.
It's a really good photo of him.
that is pretty.
Yeah.
So mine is a photo that I photoshopped. So I saw this painting where it's a ghost with a bunch of like other ghosts in frames, but my friends and I did that like TikTok challenge forever ago where you all put on the sheet and be ghosts in silly situations.
Yeah.
So I photoshopped this in the frames.
That's pretty freaking cute.
And that's what it's been since.
Oh,
Mine's
I
just
love
looking out
that.
the window with a galaxy. Basically,
Nice.
anything galaxy-y, I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah.
So-
The
anything
inside one is the Citadel.
Oh,
Nice.
See, my outside one is my from Kingsguard. This is my Air Genasi Blade Singer because like Gremlin Arts on Twitter. This fucking Lynn does slapping art. I believe she did the art for Pugmire too last season. It's just keep magnifique. I love art. So
Yeah.
Yeah, mine just doesn't buy, I think, because it's like every time I get anything, it's purple, pink, and blue colored galaxy themed.
So, okay. So do you want my hot takes on all of your backgrounds?
Oh yeah. Tell what you think
All right.
about it.
All right. So, Darby, yours is about connection. You are connected to your partner. It's really important to you. And so when you're on your phone, you want to have that sense of security and connection. right there to look at. Even if your partner is right next to you, you also want to be looking at their face. For Nikki, I think yours depicts your view of a bigger picture. You have ideals of something greater than what we have. And so you're always looking to that horizon for something extraordinary. For you, Tay, I think yours is both a acknowledgement of your skill and also your diving into the surreal. And you like being in that in between space. And mine is a what do I call it? It's a fractal. I love fractal art. So I don't know what that says about me, but y'all can psychoanalyze that.
Well, Poppy.
I don't know what angle to get into your interest of fractals, but it's
Maybe-
a cute look.
Hey, maybe like, and I am not the person to psychoanalyze anyone, but maybe it's like, you know, showing just the like abstract, or like reflecting like maybe like the abstract and like different ways that you like approach or look at things. I feel like you have a very like different way of like going into certain like views and topics and things. Plus it's just like pretty, and maybe all the different aspects of things that you like, you know. It's like you're not one solidified thing view like. It's as varied.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're real pretty.
I also look for patterns. Patterns make me happy. Patterns are very calming to me. Let's see here. Mitch, yours says your dedication to chew. So I think yours is not just anything, but if you've got a character from a role-playing game that you have helped put together, I think it's you are wanting to still stay connected to something that you're super proud of, that you put so much time and effort into, and you want to be reminded of that achievement as you keep moving forward. That is my hot take. So Tay, it is your
you're
role.
cute. Yeah. Roll. Another two. I keep rolling
Another
twos.
two. That's okay. No, we are not drawing. We are not drawing because Taylor would win.
No.
But wouldn't it be funny to see what the rest of us did?
I mean, really.
I like.
It was draw your current mood.
Hey yo, Betsy,
I can draw
go.
a scribble.
Hey yo,
That's all it's gonna
hold
be.
on. I got a Sharpie.
I mean, do we want to do that as a bonus and then do a different one where we answer the question? Sure. I mean, everybody else is doing it, so I guess we're going to.
Do I have a pen?
That's great. I just tried to draw with a makeup brush.
I mean, you could. It would take a bit.
There is no makeup on this makeup brush either. It's a brand new one I just got from my Ipsy thing.
I'm so sad. I don't know how. So when I went back to Austin for work in March, I took like a little makeup bag with some of my brushes and stuff, but they were like my daily use ones and the ones I really like. And I cannot find that little makeup bag that had all my like eyeliner and my brushes since I've come back. I don't know if I left them in a hotel before I left. I'm so sad.
Aww.
My
It took me
favorite
forever,
emoji.
but I found a pen.
Nice.
Yay!
I'll just scribble on.
Oh, can I ask a bonus question while everyone's drawing their mood today?
Sure.
So
Did you-
I was like walking the dog a couple of weeks ago. It's been a bit, but it stuck with me. And there's this other girl that lives in the apartment complex, has an adorable dog. Our dogs love each other, so we'll stand there and let them like romp for a second. and she asked me, "What's your happy today?"
Aw,
And I was like,
that.
that. She's like, it could be something big, or it could be you had a strawberry popsicle and it was good and it made you happy. Oh,
That's
That's my mood.
a McFrickin' mood if I ever McSeen one. Oh, you know what I can do while we're here? I can just fold origami. That's super simple. for me.
There you go. I'm just darkening the lines. This is mine. Let me take the blur off of my camera. It's in front of scales.
Yes. I like it.
It's very to scale.
Ha! I got you. The parkour cats are currently sleeping. So yeah. Apparently my cats have been dubbed parkour cats.
Thank you, Cam, for the donation.
Thank you, Cam.
Why this make no noise? Why you no jiggle jiggle? You know
No
what?
flow.
We make our
My
own
money
noise.
don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. And make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. Nice.
And we'll do that every single time someone donates. So,
Yay. Hang on,
since this is not making any flippin' noises.
Cam and George. That is.
Thanks, Cam and George. Okay, so here is one of the parkour kitties. I have just roused her from her sleep. Just for you, Captain Caffeine. So this is my Lilith, and she's
Sweet little babes.
that's one of my babies. Okay.
Love me. Cora's usually the only one that hangs out with me, but since I forced her to sit in my lap,
I know
You just
why it
did
didn't
another
make
one?
noises. No. I figured
Okay.
out why it wasn't making noises. Because I turned
Why?
it off by accident.
Oops.
Oopsie. My
That's all right. I like your sounds better. So the replacement one was, has a stranger ever changed your life?
Yes.
Do tell.
Well, like 99% of everyone I've met through TTRPGs have been like absolute freaking strangers. But I think the first person I really kind of put my foot in the door, I met Noir Enigma. Like I saw it, like Noir was like the first person I started following in like TTRPG Twitter when I like kind of started doing my podcast. I was like following people, you know. I was like, I want to follow people who aren't just like the cast of Critical Role because they're all kind of, you know, they're fucking huge. Like, why? Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you know, meeting people who were also just creators in the space, and Noir was the first person I followed, and then they were like, hey, does anyone want to be Snapchat friends? And I'm like, I'll send you dog pics. And that's how we met. And fast forward 2 years, now I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
there is like a trackable pipeline, for that. I believe someone else just donated, if I'm not mistaken. No.
Uh,
no, Camila.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
So Cam and George donated at the same time, but they're partners, so it's my girlfriend and her partner.
Gotcha.
Oh,
So
well,
I saw George and assumed it was Cam, and then Cam had also donated, so that's why
well, thank you for
Thank
the
you.
donation.
My money don't jiggle
We-
jiggle, it folds. I like to see
We're
you
halfway
wiggle
there.
wiggle,
Halfway
for
there.
sure.
We are
Make
halfway
me wanna
to our-
dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine.
Red line.
Nice.
Go to the store.
After this game, I'm going to the store to go get some alcohol.
I will say, in the same vein of the of what Darby mentioned, the stranger who changed stuff for me,
Oh, right.
specifically in the TTRPG communities, because that's the one that made me think of something, is Cassie from Chosen Ones. Because they were one of the first persons that actually reached out to me to talk, and then together we made Pod Squad. So then we invited a bunch of other people that we met, and now the Pod Squad is like a bunch of really close friends that we're all very excited to meet. Darby's in it too, and yeah, so it was really cool because that's what kind of got me to stay in the tabletop community, because I was able to make friends and learn from people that were already doing it.
Yeah. And now I'm podless. Like, I'm
Fine.
still there. I'm like, ah.
I mean, there's people in there that just do streams, so
That's true. I'm in a lot of podcasts and streams, I will say. I don't make anything individually except for my own streams, but
it counts.
Yeah.
I'm present.
Yeah, mine's David for High Shelf. Like, just reached out and was like, "Hey, what's up?" After like doing a little bit nothing, and now literally due to like him reaching out, want to make a connection, all of the friends that I have and actively hang out with have come from that. Like, not even just on the streaming, but just like hanging out, going and visiting and doing whatever. It's it I went from like my little like quarantine hole in the middle of a tiny town in Texas, hating everything with no one to talk to like an infinite pool of amazing people. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that helped more even on just like mentally too, like being able to make those connections and grow and everything helped a lot there.
Yeah.
And thanks, David. I don't know if you're in here. I love you. You got let's just make my life so much better. And by proxy, met so many people who have made my life better.
For me, there are two people. The first is Twitch dad, T Morris. On Twitch, he's the T Monster, and I've known him for 11 years now. But when I met him, I was going to my very first convention ever, and I was a fan of his then girlfriend, Pip Valentine, now his wife. And Pip and T were just so kind to me and wanted to know about my voice acting and everything. And uh, they encouraged me so much to write my own book, to get further into podcasting. And that led to me meeting another stranger at the same convention a couple years later, Peter Blix Bryant, who is with Solarian Games. He brought me in to replace Satine Phoenix on the Game School podcast, and that is how I got into TTRPG streaming. Like, I'd been into gaming, but I had not been into streaming or GMing. And so, but Peter thought I was awesome, and so said, "Hey, I think you could be a great host." So, yeah. Yeah. All right. So it's my roll. I rolled a 1. We're not showing shoes on Twitch because that's a weird TOS thing. Okay.
Hey, yo, a bot? Be gone, fucker!
Be gone! We do not want to buy your
Be
files!
gone! Be gone, bot!
Okay.
I nailed the guy.
Do you think I am usually early, on time, or late to events?
Jesus,
Early.
Jack.
Early.
That was so quick.
Did you-
Yeah. I'm gonna say early.
I'm gonna say early for myself. I try really hard not to be late. I think Nikki is the same way. Kind of.
So if it's a online thing, I'm always early. If it's a thing that I have to get up super early and it's super far away, I'm always precisely on time. Because I sleep in until I absolutely cannot sleep in any longer and then leave. And it's become expected that I will show up. If someone tells me 1 o'clock, I'll be there at like 12:55. And then like my family's like, we meant like you can come early and hang out at noon. I'm like, well then tell me noon.
Yeah.
Don't tell me 1 if you mean noon. Like,
And Captain Caffeine sums up my mentality because it's a military mentality. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late, and late is unacceptable.
If I'm late, it's my husband's fault. 100% legit. Like, I'm not even lying. I'll be like, hey, we have to leave at this time. Okay. And then, like, 5 minutes before that time, he's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm like, really? We should be going out the door.
Anybody else want to own up?
I want to be early, but if I want to be early, I will show up somewhere 2 hours early, and so I'm trying to strike that balance of like showing up early, but not obscenely early, because like when I was in high school, my mom and I, when we would go places, we'd show up like an hour or two early. So when we were doing my college interviews, we were rolling up to these college campuses. My interviews at 1, we're there at like 9 a.m. It like, and it's hard to like, this, me trying to break that mentality a bit so I can show up somewhere. So then sometimes I show up a little like late, like by 5 minutes or something, if I'm like driving somewhere, because I'm like trying to leave early, but not so early that I'm there like so early. If that makes sense.
Right.
Early. The word is early. I bruised my thumb or my finger, and now if I tap when I'm tapping my desk, if I do it with my index finger, it hurts.
So don't do that.
Don't do that. No. But I forget that it hurts because it doesn't hurt that much anymore unless I do that. I'm smart.
Are we done with that question?
Late.
You're perpetually late.
I'm perpetually late. If I have to leave my house, I'm perpetually late. Working from home was great because I was on time for all the meetings. Finally.
Driving is such a trip for me because I only learned how to drive in 2020, and then the pandemic happened, so I wasn't driving anywhere for a year. So effectively, I've only driven for like 1 year. So I don't understand how traffic quite works, except that fuck me if I get stuck in it, right?
Yeah.
I haven't like driven. I don't think I've driven my car since like February. I've gone places, but like Matt will drive because he likes his car. It's new, and so we're like, sure, we'll go places.
Yeah.
I don't think I've driven a car since February.
I drove one the other day because I had to take my kid to the doctor.
It's an hour expensive to drive these days. You kidding me? I live in California. I can't put $7 a freaking gallon in my tank.
And if you so friends, if you are just joining us, we are team members of Weave the Tale. We are doing a fundraiser benefiting Planned Parenthood in response to the SCOTUS decision that came down today. And we are playing a great game called We're Not Really Strangers. Yeah. And thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you being here and supporting and sharing and all the goodness. We are halfway to our goal of $300. So share if you can, donate if you can, and we love you. All right, Nikki, give us a roll, pretty please.
6.
A 6. Okay, that's gonna be reflection. Okay. I'm gonna change this a little bit. So what is a 1-sentence message you would give to your younger self?
That's a fucking hard one, my guy.
I instantly have my reaction, but it's gonna be sad.
Yeah, my instant reaction was also fucking sad.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay. That is okay. If you want to think about it a little bit, and for folks in the chat, it is okay to have emotions that make you feel uncomfortable. The key is not to let it bottle up inside of you, because otherwise that is how you get the term hurt people. Because if you let the pressure build, you will explode and you can hurt the people that are closest to you. So to let it out occasionally, however is comfortable and safe for you, is healthy. So if you want to have a moment where you express something sad, do it. If you want to have a moment where you scream into a pillow like we did at the start of the stream, do it. You know, let some of that pressure off so that you can function. This is something I learned in therapy yesterday. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's my secret, Cap. I'm barely functioning as is. I'm just a meat suit being jangled around by my emotions. Like a little puppet. But
Is that
Yeah.
your alarm?
I have to take medicine.
Ooh, okay.
I'll be right back.
So
Mine is 2. Okay, so the sad one would be don't move to California. You will regret everything. It is going to be bad. Just don't do it. Figure out another way out of your parents' house. Because abusive. The other one would be, hey, it's okay to be bi and date women at 16. Just start fucking trying now, and you're demisexual, get a fucking connection. That's how you'll actually get a meaningful relationship instead of just dating random dudes because they say they like you.
Yeah.
That'd be the other one.
Mine would be, you don't have a word for it yet, but living in the in-between is okay. I did not come out as non-binary till I was 34.
Fair.
I don't know, like so many things I could think to tell younger me are so many of those, like, don't stress the little things, like be true to yourself. But it's like adults fucking tell you that when you're 16 too, and you don't listen.
Yeah, we would listen.
With like
Would we listen to
future
our adult
me.
self at 16?
Yeah, yeah. Like I would have listened to anything I
Mom.
had to say, like because I don't think I necessarily have a moment that like I would warn against. Like I've had a lot of shitty things happen, but I think a lot of what it is has like kind of none of it was detrimental enough, and then it shaped me enough that I like who I am. Like I wouldn't avoid that, but it's kind of the more like bigger picture things that I wish like wouldn't have spent so many like spoons stressing about and tears over, when it's like you're gonna grow up and be fine.
Yeah.
Like, and I think a lot of that, yeah, is literally just like be true to yourself. Because I mean, like every teenager, like I spent a lot of time trying to mold myself to what certain groups of people would like me to be, to have friends. And like that's not a way to fucking grow up or do life,
Yeah.
Like that's
I think another important one would just be like, hey, school is as important as you think. It's important, but it's not as important. It's not everything that you are.
Everything's gonna suck by the time you have a degree anyway, and you're still not gonna be able to get a job. So don't fucking worry about it. That's what I would tell her. You hated college? Don't do it. It's fine. It doesn't matter currently.
It'll be less in debt. I'll be less in debt if you just don't go.
Yeah, you'll be less in debt. You're gonna be in the same place you are now because you don't use your goddamn degree. In a corporate career sense. Yeah. I use my skills, but I had those skills already.
So what about you, Darby? You said you had one.
Yeah, it's it would be, don't do it. I have struggled a lot. This is a content warning for depression and the other such related things that tend to go along with depression. High school and college were like the roughest times for me mentally. Like doing much better now, but like my sophomore year in college was horrible. My senior year in college was also horrible. I just had a long string of like really shitty things happen, and not enough people in my life who actually supported me. And there was a lot of times where
Did you try to set your own expiration date?
I did try to set my own expiration date, and it was luck and chance, and then someone reaching out, just like all of those times at like the right moment for it not to happen. And I don't know, it's hard, those, because there are lots of other experiences that were terrible. Like, I would love to tell my sophomore year self to just leave the living situation I was living in and stop being friends with the people I was friends with, because as a therapist told me, they think it gave me PTSD, because they gaslit, girl bossed, gatekept me 24/7 in my own living space, and made me feel like I was unstable and like insane for not being happy with a neo-Nazi living with us. And also these things happening in my life and how I've grown from them have shaped me into a person that I don't know who I'd be without having these experiences, which isn't to say that I'm happy that these experiences happened, but I'm happy with how I grew from them. So
that's valid.
Yeah, don't do it is probably the sentence, because like I'm still not like 100% happy with myself, but that's also, I also have the reflection now to be able to say, that's your brain gremlins, because God thought you'd be too powerful if you didn't have something, if you didn't have some Rockley bracers on your arms and legs. So, he gave you a bit of a spicy, dry brain. So, there's been a lot of growth and reflection, and I'm happy to be here and be able to look back at those times and be able to say, like, I have taken something from these shitty situations and used it to become a better person, I guess.
I'm glad you're here too.
Bobingus.
Yeah. Okay, so I just went. Was that me, or was that who did that? That might have been Nikki. So I think Darby, it's your role.
Ooh.
It was me.
Blah, 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 blah. I keep putting stuff on top of my dice tray as if I'm not gonna pick it up again in like 20 minutes and fucking roll. Idiot. 6.
CX. That's a reflection card.
Hi, John.
Okay. Hi, John. Okay. So based on what we've learned about each other, what book would you recommend that somebody in this group read?
Fuck, when's the last time I read a book?
Audiobooks count. Audiobooks count.
Let's see on it.
I think a book that taught me the most, that I think it was still fiction, but I still think about it today, even though I read it like years ago, is The Book Thief.
I love The Book Thief.
It was one of the first books that I read that I legitimately was like sobbing while reading the end of it, and still reading even though I was sobbing uncontrollably, because it was just, it put in things into perspective for me, but it also kind of showed me in a fiction way, like, if you haven't read The Book Thief, it's about a family in Germany during the Holocaust, but it's a family who is not Jewish or not Nazis, and it's from the perspective of just the average Joe, basically. And it was kind of eye-opening to see the perspective of how things happen to people who are just the average Joe, who aren't an extremist or and the ones being dealt with, and the problems that they go through, even though it's not as severe, but they have to like decide safety versus protection, and kind of puts things into perspective a little bit, instead of just seeing both the super evil side and the victim side. So I thought that was a really good read to see how people in between basically are helping as much as they can without risking their own lives too.
For me, I would probably say Walking Through Fire by Sherry Woolsey. Woosley. Um, she's a Baltimore-based writer, and she wrote an adventure from a mother's perspective who is trying to save her ailing son from the end of the world. And what was really cool was I started listening to it leaving Baltimore to go home to New Hampshire because I was living in New Hampshire at the time. And the book was hitting all the same locations as I was driving through them. It was bizarre and awesome. And I texted her afterwards because she was on a panel that I moderated. And I was like, oh my, this is so weird. Like, you're talking about I-84 and Poughkeepsie right as I'm hitting an exit that says Poughkeepsie. And it was cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, I would say for this group, I think just go read something that makes you feel happy, guys. We got a lot on our brains currently, whatever that may be. Currently, I'm reading some really shitty, smutty fantasy novel that TikTok keeps talking about because I haven't read a book in a long time, and it's itching a scratch of I don't need to care about anything while I'm listening to this, which is great.
Ooh,
But
the Kushiel books are great, by the way, if you like that stuff.
I didn't think I would. I've never been huge into fantasy, but here I am on book 3 of the series. But one book that I did read relatively recently, that hit me as like a more introspective-y kind of think about things is Ghost at a Watchman, which is the second book to Kill a Mockingbird. And I liked it because it is set, she still wrote it, Harper Lee still wrote it in 1950, 1960, or 1960s, 1960, whatever. But it didn't get released until like 2016, 17, something like that. Like it was right after I graduated college. And it's set from the point of view of Scout as an adult off at college, and she comes back and she starts to notice like, oh, my dad's still kind of a racist. And like while I thought he was this white knight and like all these things, she's starting to see how that tight-knit family has these, or this community has these views, and like has to think about like, oh, I've got to like make my own opinions and thoughts and see these things, and I've like seen the world, and maybe this isn't set in stone. And I think it was like a really good way of showing, which explains why it wasn't freaking printed until 19 or till 2016. But I thought it was like a really good way, especially for someone who maybe read that as a child or is currently reading them as a young like student or whatever, of seeing like history kind of repeats itself. People may not always be fully on the right side of history when you think they are. Question your surroundings, question your upbringing, learn some shit from the world. Like it was very interesting. I liked it. Yes, John, smut. But
I do think video games count as stories. They're
really
just
do.
interactive stories. So, if that helps people.
Oh my God. Okay, I have a video game that has a really cool story, feeling, vibe, but everything about it is perfect. Everyone, go play Grease, like Gris, gray in Spanish. It is
Oh, yes.
beautiful.
I thought it was pronounced Gris.
Gris, maybe. I don't speak the language. I don't know the proper enunciations. Gris. It is so good. It is so pretty. It is just a side scroller kind of you don't really die puzzly thing with the most beautiful art and the most beautiful soundtrack and the set pieces and the message. It's kind of, this character is essentially going through the stages of grief, and it does this in just like the most beautiful way. I sat down and played the entire thing in one sitting and was just like in awe, in tears. Like, it's so good. So good for being like a story that has zero dialogue either. It's just all told through color theory and music theory, and it's so good.
We have received another donation.
Thank you, Anonymous.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. And make me wanna dribble dribble. Riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind. Sipping some red wine.
John, did you also say,
Nice.
Chris, did we jinx? Or are you, oh my godding that, yes, that game's great.
A game that I think everybody would like here just because it's tabletop related, or sorry, a book that I think everybody should read is NPCs by Drew Hayes. And this book is, I read it like back in 2015, and I only know that because I'm looking at my Goodreads for books that I've read that I could think of. But it is a book where it starts off with people who are playing D&D in character, and then they all suddenly die because they said they wanted a hardcore game, and like first couple of pages they all die. But then you go into the perspective of the NPCs who are surrounding the player characters, and they're like, why are all these people dead in my inn, basically? And they have to take over the quest. But the reason why I love it so much is because it fights against the stereotypes that D&D tends to have and role-playing games tend to have. So specifically, every single person went into the role that they thought they were meant to be in because that's what they were raised to believe, and then slowly stepped into the role they were actually supposed to be in and became who they truly were. And I absolutely adored that concept.
I had a credit on my Audible, so I just went and got it.
It's really good, honestly. I love it so much. And there's more than just the one.
Too.
In that vein, I would say this one is a comedy book. It's called The Merchant Adventurer. It's by Patrick McLean. And basically it's, you know how in D&D or in any fantasy setting there's always the merchant that has like a ton of crap stuff, but he says, oh, this is like the best thing ever. He does an adventure, but he sells things to adventurers, and then suddenly gets pulled into an adventure himself, very reluctantly, and it's so funny.
Just looked up the NPC on Audible to also add it to my wish list. And then one of the related is called The Utterly Uninteresting and Unadventurous Tales of Fred, the Vampire Accountant. So I'm gonna use your credit on that too.
Yeah.
I need to know.
My book is like not a fiction book, but this has remained my steadfast favorite for a long time. It's called Who Ordered This Truckload Full of Dung? It is by it's a Buddhist monk, Ajahn Brahm, and it's like 108 like little stories and snippets and whatnots, kind of using humor to talk about like stuff and things. It's not overtly like, you should become a Buddhist like message. It's more like the mentality of like kind of, and life lessons he's learned that he kind of takes in this book, which I really appreciate. Like, he has this story about how in his monastery they had to build, they're monks, they kind of just do shit by hand. They take donations, but they kind of just they don't like make lots of money. They don't hire people to do construction. They kind of just do it themselves. So he's talking about how, he had to build a brick wall. He's never laid a brick wall before. So he said he's learning it on the job, and he's like laying this brick wall. He's like trying to get every brick freaking perfectly lined up, everything, and then he finishes the wall and then realizes that there's 2 bricks in the middle of this wall that are crooked. And he's like, and he goes up to the head of his monster. He's like, hey, can I tear down that wall? There's like 2 bricks that are bad in it. I hate it. I hate looking at it. And dude's like, no, it's a good wall. Just leave it up. He talks about for years when he would bring this tours by, he would always like run them really fast past this wall because he could always see the 2 shit bricks. And then at one point someone commented like, "Oh, I really like that wall. It's a good wall." And he's like, "What are you talking about? There's 2 like crap bricks in the middle of this." And he's like, and then he said that the guy said something that changed his perspective of how he viewed things, which was, he said, "Yeah, there's 2 bad bricks, but there's also like 300 good bricks surrounding it. So you're kind of just looking at 2 shit bricks when you could be looking at the whole thing."
I like
And so
that.
it's like perspectives like that were like, someone gifted this book to me at a very not fun time in my life. So it kind of helped. I don't listen to everything he says because there's some things that on the anger section that I'm like, fuck no, I'm a pissy person. I'm gonna be pissed. But grain of salt with everything, and the whole book is just to be a perspective, and I appreciate that perspective. Anyways,
Like that.
Okay. Do you have, what time do you need to go by?
I have another hour and a half, and then
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Okay, I just
we
wanted
are.
to make sure.
Gucci.
Tay, it is your roll.
Whoa. 4. I didn't get a 2 this time.
Woohoo! Perception. If you were to buy one of the cast members a present, what, knowing nothing about us other than what we looked like, what would you get us?
Oh.
So based on appearance alone.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Nikki because I feel like it's the easiest now because she literally has Dungeons and Dragons on her arm. That I could have a pretty good guess of something that she would like on that alone. Yes. And then like wearing the beholder necklace too.
This one has a D20, but you can't see it. There it is.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. Then I think I get a really pretty set of dice. Probably in the blue, purple, pink galaxy theme.
Strange. What gave you
Wow.
that idea?
What gave that away?
I don't know. Let's see. For Spence, what would I do? I get this. It's so hard when you already know something about someone because I'm like, would I get like idea by just looking at them? Maybe I feel like maybe I would get the spiritual, like witchy kind of vibe because I think I've seen you wear like different like jewelry or things. I feel like that might have like stuck out to me at some point. That maybe something along those lines.
Yep.
And some crystals, some tarot, something like. I know this
Yeah.
especially because you wore a necklace one time. Let's see, Darby. Again, I gotta get out things. I think for you, oh, it's so hard because I have so many answers, but I don't know. I would go. I think because this is like kind of the safe answer too for people, but then like maybe knowing or seeing a little more of like what you do, like maybe like a little like tea sets of like maybe different types of tea or like a fancy cup, maybe like a really like bright. I feel like I would do like a bright color, cool. Oh, like those really cool ceramic mugs. I'm on ceramic TikTok too. God, they're so good.
But then knowing you though, making sure it's non-caffeinated.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That would be
my.
the like. Let me take all those back. Here is only chamomile.
Oh my god, yeah, that fucking that day really sucked. Can I tell you?
No.
Oh boy, yeah, that is. I do like bright colors. I'm also like,
I think I go with a really bright cup thing.
yeah, I've got. These have nice
Yeah.
bright patterns on them, so.
Yeah.
So tea is my go-to present for everybody. So based on your appearances, um for Darby, I would give you my blueberry Bellini tea. So it's like a blueberry um rooibos tea. So it's a red tea. It's not caffeinated. Um and it's an interesting taste. Kind of has a little bit of a champagne-y taste. For for Nikki, the um I would do my chunky watermelon tea because I feel like that is something that you would enjoy. It's super refreshing. Um
I try it.
it yeah. And then for Tay, going by looks alone, I feel like Tay would be into one of the teas that I've got that has peppercorns in it. I feel like you're a little adventurous. So I'd probably give you my ritual fire tea, which is like a smoky kind of tea. Very caffeinated, but also
I need it. I have a
dark and
tea
lovely.
now that's like rosemary and peppercorn and something.
Mm.
And a yerba mate, I think, is like the tea base.
Oh, I love it.
So good.
I love it. That sounds a lot like the tea that I just got from New Hampshire. It's called Rise and Shine, and it's a yerba mate tea with cloves, cinnamon, and cardamom, and a couple of other things that I can't remember off the top of my head.
I love tea.
I have a tea library, and I have a lot of tea TikToks that I'm moving over to my professional TikTok.
Tea talks.
TikTok.
Tea talks.
Tea talk.
I'm very bad at doing presents based off of appearance.
Okay.
I'm bad at doing a lot of things based off of appearance, including liking people. Thus demisexual.
No.
So I'm gonna pass on this one. Because for me, as I find things, it's like I see something, I'm like, and then I think of someone. So
Mhm.
that's how I do presents. I don't like look at someone and think of a present for them. So like my best friend, for example, if I ever see anything that's a tortoise or turtle like, I'm like, Ashley, immediately. That she needs this in her life. She doesn't need it really. She really doesn't, but I get it for her anyway.
That somehow is how owls became for me. Like I like owls. They remind me of my grandmother, and I think that's how it started. Was like I wanted a thing of my grandmother's that was owls because she really liked them, and then my mom kept giving me owls, and then it became the thing that I like owls. So then everyone gave me owls. There's one Blair brought me back from Korea, and then there's one she brought me back from Japan, and everyone gets me owls now. And I'm like, I like them. They're cute, but I don't know why that became my thing.
Quite the hoot.
It was thrown on to me and I've just accepted it.
Mhm.
Ugh. Yeah, also for me also buying gifts at looking at someone very hard. I have like I keep notes in various areas. They're not organized, but I'll like have notes about people that like I particularly buy gifts for. So like there's some professors that I'm close with from college that I have like a couple notes on my phone that are like why did I tap with my index finger? A couple notes on my phone that are like so and so doesn't like raspberries or like they prefer this over that. So I think about gifts carefully. Otherwise, I just do this shit. I make people like origami. I like litter them everywhere. I've made my usual go-to if I don't know anything about anyone, but I know they have something coming. I make these like flowers. They're like origami flowers I put on a wire and stuff like that. So I'll make like little bouquets of those, or I'll string a bunch of cranes with like origami star paper in between, or I'll fill like jars with like origami in them and then just like give those to people.
Darby origami. Can I come visit and you teach me how to make origami?
Oh yeah, I'll be
We can
bringing
make
some
little
to
things.
Gen Con. Just it's
Sure.
or like
I used to know how to do the stars, but it's been so long I don't remember the
stars are super easy. Or I'll make like I made this. This was supposed to be a gift for someone, but like that person straight up was when I was like trying to be subtle and asked like, oh, you know, like, what do you like as a present? They're like, I'd rather just someone just gift me League of Legends like Riot like credit. And I'm like, versus like I was like, oh, how do you feel about handmade gifts? And that was their response, was like they would rather get League money than a handmade gift. So that person,
yes.
a kitty. But I make like I'll make
my fat biscuit.
embroideries or things when I don't know much about people, because it's a good go-to.
My go-to, if I do know about something about people, is painting. Because like I already have everything. So like for Christmas last year, literally all of the presents I gave were paintings that I made. Very, very last minute, by the way.
Yes.
The Weaver.
This is literally I made all of my nibblings, all of my siblings, an octopus for the holidays.
Amazing.
And that was that. And I was like, done.
Yeah. Like my aunt had a birthday and made a comment that like I didn't realize I had, and she's like, "Can you make me something for my birthday this year instead like of buying something?" Because like I guess I haven't before and I didn't realize. Probably because I ran out of time. But I made her a faux stained glass Wizard of Oz picture, which is like glue and paint.
I want to do stained glass too.
Well, this
That's
was
so
faux stained
expensive.
glass. So it was just
What's
like
the difference?
well, regular stained glass, you actually cut the glass and like have to gild the edges and then do the soldering. Where faux stained glass is you just on a piece of just like on a frame with glass on it, you put puffy paint and like do a glue mixture with paint to like color it in so that it's slightly opaque but still see-through. So it peels off really easily, unfortunately, but it looks cool as long as you don't pick at it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
I think so.
Okay.
You're too heavy to hold up. I gotta readjust. So.
All right, I
It's
got
not on my arm.
a two. It's no, we are not doing that one. We're not doing that one either. Okay, here's a good one. Let's brighten this up a little more. What has been your happiest memory from this past year?
You have an answer, Biscuit? She acted like she was gonna talk.
Oh
She's
my
great.
god. My two cats are on top of each other right now, grooming each other in this little folding like fabric drawer thing that they've decided to make a bed. It's really cute.
You got a bald spot. I mean, I got a lot of happy memories, thankfully, this year. This year's been, well, yeah, this year's definitely turned up. As in calendar year.
Yeah.
My room is yelling at me. I think that like just a few weeks ago, really, like it's been new, and I think this was just like a moment that kind of solidified a lot of like the happy feelings I've been having, of like getting to like go relatively close to where I live and just like stand in the forest on a mountain and look at the water and like get to actually experience nature and have this like, oh thank god I'm not in Texas anymore moment, especially with what's happening today, and just like it was very like reaffirming of like I feel comfortable where I am, or like in the right direction, the right spot, like who I'm with, what I'm doing, where I'm at, just felt so much better than it has for a very, very long time.
Mhm.
And so I think it was just like a nice, like little like meditative moment of like, yeah, yeah.
I've also had a couple of good ones this year, which has been nice. But I think one of the ones that stand out, that I'm only saying because I double checked if my girlfriend's still not in the chat. She is not. Was our date where we kissed for the first time.
Oh, yes.
Because we were at the beach and laying under the stars at night, just like laying on a blanket. And I was in my head, kept telling myself, just say it, just say it, just say it. Because she was waiting purposely because I had asked her to. Because I was nervous and I wanted to have that connection. And it was like our fourth date or something like that. And I finally just like, I want to kiss you. And then she leaned in and I was like, oh, thank God.
It's so romantic on the beach under the stars.
Oh, damn it. Here.
You make my
Hey, we can clip that for you for later.
No.
Clip it. Somebody clip it.
Ayo, ayo,
But it was a good moment.
Ayo.
It was a happy moment.
Alright, cool. I've saved a schnippity snoop.
No, because I had asked her
Yeah.
to. Because I was the one that
That it has for a
I
very, very long
think
time.
for me, if we're going in the
think one of the
past
ones that
12
stand
months,
Yeah.
it was the day when I finally
I've also had
moved into my
a couple of
house,
good
and
ones
everybody
this
who had been
year.
helping me move in
She was
was
waiting
gone,
purposely
and
because I had
the
asked her
house
to.
to myself.
And
it's the first
she
time
leaned in,
I
and
have
was
lived
like,
alone.
oh, thank God.
And so I'm like, oh, this
I've
is
also
mine.
had a couple of good ones this
You
year.
know? And that feeling of ownership and like, oh God, I'm an adult now. It was both terrifying and wonderful because I didn't have anybody there. I wasn't pressured to be something other than who I am. And that was wonderful.
That's nice. Yeah, I definitely had I mean, less so in an apartment, we're renting it, but being able to have like my own space again, because moved in here in December. And like before that, it had been like 6 months of influx. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do for a job. I didn't know where I wanted to live yet. So I was staying with family until I figured it out. And like all of my stuff was in a storage unit. I was living out of a suitcase and like it was just stress of like I didn't want to sign a lease anywhere and then not be there or whatever. And so finally getting into this place and there's just like a day and I was like sitting there, Biscuit was cuddling with me. I was like, I'm on my couch, like drinking coffee out of my cup. I made breakfast in my pants. I can sit here, no pants, and no one cares. I could go out on my patio. I was like, oh my God, how like it's something like that when either you don't have your own like space, your own thing, or then just like your own privacy and your own comfortability to finally have that after, an extended period of time. It's like, oh my God, at ease. What do you think, Biscuit? Biscuit was also very happy because she had very bad allergies in Texas to
Oh
the point.
no.
Well, it was just the hill country. It was like those last few months when we moved back. You can still kind of see she's now just habit licking her leg where it used to be super itchy, and so she's still bald right here in her leg. But your skin's fine now. Now it's just a habit that I can't break because you won't keep a cone on your head.
Oh no, shame. Darby, do you have a happy for this year?
I'm like trying to remember what's happened in the past year. I mean, calendar year or like a chronological 365 days.
I say 365 days.
We're just shy of a year anniversary for my current place of employment. And it's not a full-time job, but they do pay really well. It gives me a lot of freedom to like do this stuff. because I work at night. Hence my 4:30 dipperino time is for me to be able to get to work. But I work in a retail hobby shop. So it's about board games and tabletop role playing games and like Warhammer and shit. It's like all this nerd crap that I already like talking about, and I get literally paid to talk to people about it and sell people on stuff. And like retail's not the most glorious job in the world, but you know, the owners of where I work are fucking amazing. I like my coworkers. I'm really happy where I am, and it was really exciting when I got that job because they literally hired me. I did the interview and they hired me 5 minutes after I walked out the door. Like,
What?
I was leaving the interview. I like stepped outside and then one of them came running after like, "Hey, do you want the job?" So it was really validating, especially because I had come in like 2 weeks beforehand. It was like the Magic the Gathering like Dungeons and Dragons pre-release, and I had already sent in my resume at this point, and I was like, I came in, they recognized my name because who the fuck else is named Darby? Like, who the fuck else has a name Darby, right? Like, it's a very uncommon fucking name. And it was how I interacted with people during that event that made them want to hire me then, and the interview was a formality. Which felt really fucking nice, and I'm still really jazzed that I have that job because I really like it, and it's really cool, and it's really fun, and they give a really nice discount for employees, so you know, I keep buying things like this Japanese Neon Dynasty Kamigawa booster pack. This costs money.
I should get a job at a hobby shop. I'd save money.
Yeah, I kind of.
I had one
only a fraction.
the right hobby shop.
Yeah, some like I'll say my hobby shop, we have an immaculate fucking vibe, and if we didn't have an immaculate vibe, or someone was causing an unimmaculate vibe, they would not be in the shop.
I really hope that when someone's being a butt, you're like, your vibe is not immaculate. Please leave.
I mean,
I wanna
straight
get
up.
exactly like that.
Hey,
Wait.
thank you, Mr. Adam J. Powell, for that donation.
Thank you.
Here, a little jiggle jiggle.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure, and make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack, but luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. Nice.
I am gonna make a dance to that.
I gotta look up what the TikTok is.
Yeah. There is a TikTok dance to it. If it wasn't clear, I don't fucking know how the dance goes, but also,
Same either.
That's my buddy, Adam.
Oh, it starts like this, and then you go this way. Dribble, dribble, you know, riding in my Fiat. That wasn't the whole song. Why did the clip stop there? That's as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, friends, in our off-topic cool shit thing, I did post the picture of my two cats snuggling together. They never do this. Like, this is a first. That's why I'm like taking a million pictures.
Baby.
Oh, I did that the other day too with my cats because they're both older. Like my cat is 9 and Matt's cat's probably 9 or 10. No, older, like 10 or 11, like getting up there. So they weren't very happy about having to live with another cat again. They were like, "Excuse me, I'm the queen." Why? And so I mean, still, it's been months, but they even just look at each other. They don't fight, they just hiss. And they're just like, you know, they're just like, "Hey, fuck you." And like that's it. And then go about their business. But more and more recently, I've caught them sleeping closer and closer together. And the other day, it was like butt to butt. And then the next day, it was like Biscuit was on the top part of the back of the couch, and then Miss Fat was on the bottom part. So they're like right next to each other. I was like, oh man, it only took them 8 months, but we're getting there.
That's
Oh
awesome.
man.
Hey, Nikki, guess what? It's your roll.
3.
3. How would you describe us to a stranger?
Mm-hmm. I would probably describe based off of talents and abilities more than anything. So, oh god, I have to do this in front of people.
Well, what if we all said one sentence about each person?
Okay.
Would that help?
Kind of. I just suck at compliments, and that's how I would describe someone, as complimenting their abilities to do something.
Okay.
I feel like there's different ways to describe too. Like if I'm telling my mom about y'all, it's not like, okay, so they do these things. It's like, okay, so it's my friends, we play games. Okay, so these
Yeah.
games we play online. Let me explain.
Just trying to describe to my
No.
mom what people do and their relationship to me is so, like, when I first realized that a lot of my friends are actually a lot older than I am, they're like there's some people that are like, oh, like you're in your 40s, like da 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 da. She's like, oh yeah, so like when did they graduate from college? I'm like, I don't know. They're like 40, mom, and she's like, ah, what do you mean? It's just like.
I don't know how old they
They're
are.
my friend, mom. You know, they have
How the internet works.
kids. I don't know what to tell you. Fuck. Like,
I have people that hang out that have kids my age, and I don't know their kids.
I just be like, these are my friends that tolerate my weirdness and encourage me to tell romantically weird stories without restraining me, and so I love them for it.
It's fair. I don't know. I think when I explain people, I explain them via their characters in games, because that's
Yes.
when I start talking about them. So, like, I know for a fact I've talked about, like, Coop and Digit, and then I'll say, like, "Oh, Digit's played by Darby, Darby's awesome," and then Digit did this and this and this, and then Coop is played by Tay, and Tay's also awesome, and she does this amazing graphic stuff, and then but then this scene, and, like, I get back into the scene again. So that's, like, how I describe things is, like, I'll be going into detail about, like, of a game itself and why I am emotionally traumatized by said situations.
Mitch.
Yeah.
But I do the
Joe
same for,
Wallace.
like,
Oh, but he has something to say. Look at Biscuit has left me to sun herself on the dog bed.
You know, as
She's
animals will
so
want to
comfy.
do.
See, my.
As they are want to do.
I was gonna make a joke about my animal, but it's pretty dark.
No.
I mean, you know, I heard a thing the other day that people don't get black dogs and cats because they don't photograph well. And I'm like, are you serious? I love my little black kitten.
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin says she's like, "Do you only get like black animals?" And I was like, "It just happened that's that way." Like,
Yeah.
Biscuit's torty. Cora's black and white. Loki, or the
Mhm.
dog, is like solid black.
Yeah. Well, like the funny thing is with these two, I got Lilith first from the shelter, and then a couple months later,
This is a photo of
No.
my dog. My mom put her in my. This is my Digit wig.
That's your
And she just fucking.
the look is like, why
Oh,
am I
God.
here?
She. She was. Her eyes always looked like fuck me, dude. Like, why? I have to
Fuck
find
my
the.
life.
I have to find the photo of her. Because we live in California, it doesn't rain very often.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, why would you have a raincoat for your dog if it only rains like 3 times every 4 years, right? So what did my mom do? I gotta find the photo somewhere, but she put our dog in a garbage baggie, uh,
Oh my
to
gosh.
supplement having a raincoat. But my dog has since then passed away. So all of my dog related jokes are very depressing now.
No.
This is the overall photo.
Oh, you can tell by the
Oh,
hunch.
no.
Like, oh, why?
Why do you hate me, human?
Oh my
She-
god, his eyes.
Her eyes always look like fuck my life.
Oh my god.
So my other kitten, Sparrow, a couple months after I had adopted Lilith, the shelter called me back and said, "Hey, we know you were looking at Sparrow before. Sparrow was in the crate next to Lilith." And they're like, "She still hasn't been adopted. Do you want to come look at her again?" I said, I'll bring her home. It's fine. I don't care if she doesn't like me." And she's still very skittish about being pet. But when I sit down on the couch or when I lay down, boom, right on my side. Like, I cannot remove her. So, yeah, these two have been friends since they were very young, and Sparrow is 1 year old now, and Lilith will be 1 year old in September. I did not mean to get kittens, but I got kittens.
I didn't mean to get a puppy when I got Cora, and whoop, I got a puppy.
Oops.
No,
Hey,
she was
Darby.
super, super chill as far as puppies go.
Darby, roll a die.
Okay.
Roll a d6.
5.
DM says you're gonna die. Roll a d6. No, wait, what?
I was trying to send it in Discord, but Discord hates. Look at it's the black dog thing of where their eyes just look so sad. He's like, "What's happening?"
Yeah,
But he's
very
such
expressive.
a buddy.
You know what that looks like to me in anime when the character is being affectionated and they're like, "I don't know how to react in this situation.
Yes, like look at that buddy.
I just want to boop that snoot. I boop it,
Little Loki.
little Loki." Okay, so, how would you describe the feeling of being in love in one word?
Terrifying.
That's a good one.
Or the opposite, comfortable.
Oops.
Hurricane.
Yeah, I think for me, because the first person I ever loved hurt me so much, like, it's still terrifying to this day. Even though, like, the second person is my husband and we've been together for 12 years and I love him to death. But, like,
You're waiting for that shoe to drop.
in the back of my brain, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just always there. But, that's why, like, I don't say the term, really. Like, I know, Spence, you say it all the time, and you probably notice I don't say it back usually.
Yep.
Like, I don't say it to anybody.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for me, is that I have such deep feels for people, and there are varying degrees of love. And so I tell my friends I love them a lot because, especially if they don't hear it from people that it means more from, I want them to hear it from me at least.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, love is terrifying, but the like when you're in it, I that is what I define as comfortable. Finding it, losing it, all of that is so many more emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you know it's right, you know.
Yeah. Hey Tay, guess what?
It's me.
It's you.
Money don't jiggle jiggle. So we stuck in my head forever.
Mama, don't jiggle, jiggle. By the way,
Three.
we're at $190 out of $300 for our goal,
Yes.
so you know.
We just need 110 more to get to our goal.
So share that link, donate if
Share
you
that
can, and remember, abortion is a human right, and yeah.
Yeah.
Them people's tried to take him away can fuck right the fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Write down one thing you want to let go of this year, read it out loud, and then rip it up together.
Ooh, fun.
So, in chat, I encourage you to do the same because this is cathartic.
What was the thing again?
write down one thing you want to let go of this year.
I love like looking at my sticky notes and I'm like, why did I have 6 tallies and the number 56 written on this? I don't know. But it meant something to me at some point in time.
I have a little dinosaur, a little T-Rex. Well, it's not super visible because it's super thin. But I have a little T-Rex drawn on this with my character from my Wednesday game standing on top of it because I tamed an adult T-Rex in my D&D game.
Yeah.
Animal friendship,
Yo.
baby.
John, I want you to get rid of scoliosis too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know where I can write this thing? I can write it on this origami paper. And
Oh, that's cute.
fold it up.
Right, but the point is to get rid of it though.
Yeah, by turning it into something nice.
Okay, sure.
Or I could set it on fire outside. Whichever happens first. Fire.
Fire.
What is something I want to get rid of? Debt?
This is a good game, but it's a hard game sometimes. And there's no winners, there's no losers. It's just making you think.
I'm super excited. We have to do this again. So I have a friend who is making their own conversation game and is about to start like promoting it and Kickstarter and doing all these sort of things. And it is, I absolutely love it. It's going to be super cool because it's more like I don't know necessarily a stream thing, but like it's a good thing for us to just like talk about because it's very much based on like outward things more than super in depth. And so, you know, it can kind of cover those like, it's called scars. So it's like, what are scars you like have was the thing of like, where did that start? And, you know, it can get more emotional, but then it's like, you know, shitty ways you're perceived by society or what, you know, it's got a lot of really cool topics in there. That I think will be like super fun for, you know, a group of friends you trust to like be able to talk about and have meaningful conversations.
Okay. So, everybody got theirs written down? Yes. Okay. So, who wants to start? If nobody wants to, I will go first.
I can start. I wrote it's not one word, but it's like bad brain gremlins. I mean, it's like a lifetime trying to get rid of, but like, you know, the not great thoughts. It would be nice to throw those bitches in the trash. Where they belong.
Yes.
Yes.
I put procrastination, but in the way of that, like, you know, when you're kind of like anxiety, self-doubt just paralyzes you for a bit and then you can't do anything except wallow when you're like, I could be probably doing something better. That sort of procrastination.
I put family manipulation and guilt.
Good one. Self-emotional stunting. I stop myself from experiencing emotions to the highest extent because I don't want to. I like taught myself not to. So
Yep.
now I'm unteaching myself that, which is very difficult.
You okay?
Yep. My ukulele fell over. I just get startled easily.
I heard a stringed instrument and I'm like, ooh.
She good.
Yay. All right, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Ready to tear up your papers? 1, 2, 3.
And again.
And I'm going to go put mine in my incense burner to burn later.
Oh, smart.
Smart.
Me too.
I am turning it into a bird. Bird.
Okay. I have smart ideas sometimes.
If you
who's
spell applesauce with all
that's
A's,
with an A?
you can say ah.
Can you tell we spend a lot of time on TikTok?
Yep.
Really? Weird. I don't see it.
But
Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up.
Oh no, my table.
It's
It's
berries
broken.
and cream.
Yeah, I say, remember the berries and cream guy came back? Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
could have done
yeah.
without that trend back again.
Whose turn is it? Was it my turn? Who just
That
went?
was me, I think.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So you would have gotten a 3 or a 6.
I did a 3. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. 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 I got a 6. Ooh. What has this conversation taught you about yourself?
I have low self-esteem.
Yeah, bringing things to the forefront again.
I mean, did you have to learn that though?
That I'm not alone.
Aw.
Can that be a thing about myself?
Yeah. I think mine has taught me that I'm great at faking it. Because clearly you all are were intimidated by me.
Look,
I'm
I was intimidated by
by,
all
like,
y'all from the
everybody
get-go
when I
because
first
there's
meet
new
people.
people. Yeah. The first time I've met any of y'all in like first Darby and Nikki, but then again with Spence was like in a room full of a bunch of people I didn't know. So the whole situation was intimidating because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know you guys.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah, the first time I met Tay and Darby was it technically I met Darby a while ago, but the first time I met Tay, was during probably the one shot or the session zeros that I wasn't even actually a part of because I was in the middle of work.
Yeah.
So it was technically like the day of our stream starting that I wasn't even supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
like,
now,
I don't
look
know
at
who
him.
any of you people like. I knew of B and like in Darby. That's the only people I knew. I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I here? I don't know.
I knew Mitch, I knew Nikki, I knew of B, and then yeah, I never didn't know who Evan was, didn't know who you were.
I didn't know anyone was. I just got a Discord
turkey
message from
invite.
Pope one day, and I was like, sure,
Yeah.
here I am.
It's been a hot second since I've been cold turkeyed. I don't know. That's a probably not the actual right way to say that, but like sometimes
It's
you just
fun.
find little pockets that you haven't seen before, and it's like, oh,
Oh,
I think I learned that because I thought back of something from a long time ago that fucked me over. I learned that I've come a very long way.
yay.
Or it was reminded, I guess, that I've come a very long way
Mhm.
in 13 years.
Awesome. Hey, Nikki, it's your turn.
Or 14 now. Is it 14? I don't fucking know.
time is an illusion that helps things make sense.
2. I kept track with work before, and I don't work there anymore, so I think it's 14.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. What are you more afraid of? Failure or success, and why?
I'm afraid of both for different reasons. I think I'm more afraid of failure because I don't believe usually that I'm succeeding. Even if I am.
Yeah. Darby,
that-
your faces are just amazing. I'm sorry.
This is what Mitch hunts for. Are these?
How to describe Darby? She makes lots of random noises and faces
Mhm.
when she reacts to things. It's hilarious. Prepare
I
for
Could
high
learn
pitch.
how to like monetize off of her squeals. We would all be billionaires.
I when I was in high school, my science teacher slash music theory AP music theory teacher at one point asked me to sight sing something, and I made a face or several faces. He stopped and then he went, Yeah, I see why you did drama, because I literally just watched you pull like 30 faces in 2 seconds, and I don't know how that was humanly possible. Like, the range of emotions that just
It's like,
passed through your. I'm like.
like,
Okay. And, yeah, I don't know. Face do things.
things
I'm
do things.
equally afraid of both. Because when I'm succeeding, I feel like I'm failing. And when I'm failing, I feel like everyone fucking hates me and that I'll never amount to anything. And I'm just gonna go end up in a ditch somewhere. Like, fuck. Like,
Imposter syndrome is a bitch.
imposter
Fucking
syndrome is a
mood.
bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, mood.
Yeah. I had a professor tell me I was a good writer the other day, and I laughed in his face. He's like, yeah, you're a good writer when you didn't procrastinate. I just laughed at him. And he was like, why are you laughing? I'm like, I guess I don't believe you do, but okay.
I think my professor said you're a good writer when you don't procrastinate. I'm like, how would you know? Because all of my papers were procrastinated.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I
True.
did them the day of. You gave me A's on them. I don't know why, but okay.
Oh, you got A's, dude? I got C's, get degrees, baby. Like, I didn't get C's in my classes, but I got not great, amazing grades on my papers.
What were you going to school for, though? I think that makes a difference.
History. I wrote
Yeah.
so many papers.
Mine was in health administration. The papers were boring as fuck. As long as I had like one thing or 3 like cited things, they were great. And I just put stories in there, fictional stories to pad it out, and they loved that shit. Like, well, I'm just saying, ethically, if we were in a hospital that had this issue, this is what I would do, and then write like a page of hypothetical situations that mean absolutely nothing, but it fills out the word count.
There you go.
Huh.
Hey, I'm like, cool, thanks. And then
Nice.
C's on your quizzes.
I just got to write like short stories and film reviews.
Oh, were you an English major?
Minor.
Mine.
Communications, TV, radio, film was my
Hey,
major.
Me too. Well, that
Yeah.
was my associate's. My bachelor's is in technical writing. So essentially, for my bachelor's, I wrote like 16 instruction manuals with diagrams.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to accidentally double minor because I went to such a small school that a lot of our stuff was double coded. So things that were communications and mass media were very similar. And then a lot of the film related things were coded English. So, but I needed them for my communications film degree. And by the time I was done, I did, a normal length of less than only 3 years worth of school and had 2 minors and a major.
I switched my major like a lot. So.
I didn't declare.
Yeah, I
it.
went for 4 years because my first year was a biology major. That was my like focus, and then I switched. But I got to do a bunch of dual credit in high school, so I didn't have to do any basics.
None of my APs applied.
I only did dual credit because I said fuck AP, so I knew it would count.
My college didn't accept my APs. They only took your AP scores if they were 4 or higher in select areas, and your girl passed 3 of her APs and none of them counted.
Oh,
Failed my one
sickening. Sickening.
I did fail AP Calc though, but I did it on purpose. I knew I wouldn't pass. I got the bubble. I bubbled in all the answers, and then I immediately took a nap. Just 5 minutes filling out the bubbles. I scribbled something, and then I went, okay, I brought my pillow out, and I just fucking slept through the test.
God.
They woke me up for the break, I flipped over the paper, and I did it again!
Oh my gosh.
Easy peasy. Easiest one I ever got in an AP test.
So Tay, are you afraid of success or failure, and why?
Failure, because I am too hard on myself. And like kind of similar, like
for all of us right now.
yeah, similar, just like downward spiral from that. But I think even more though, because try to avoid my own emotions. Failure, 9 times out of 10, especially with what I'm due, means I've let someone else down, and I don't that stresses me out.
Yeah.
Success is like scary because more responsibilities, more things, more unknown, but that's more interesting to me than letting down people.
Yeah, for me, I'm scared of succeeding because that means that I have all that further to fall when I do fail, because I will fail eventually. So it's the difference between falling off of a stump of a tree and falling out of a second story window, which I have done.
Honestly, that
Sorry,
yeah,
what?
That's
I fell
some.
out of a second story window.
You actually fell out a second story window.
I was 7 years old, fell out of a second story window, landed on concrete. My wrist saved my life. It broke in 3 places. I fractured my pelvic bone, and all of my earring that was in this ear was ripped out. My face was covered in scars.
Dang.
Look at us learning new
Ouch.
things.
Oh,
It's what this game is about.
BPR John, thank you for donating them $20
My money don't
dollarinos.
jiggle jiggle, it folds.
Oh,
like
God,
to
I
see
forgot
you
I forgot
wiggle wiggle for sure. And make me wanna
Oh.
dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine.
Nice.
I like having my recliner so that I can do the recliner thing.
I was gonna try it. I was like, wait.
We
I already forgot what the beginning of it was. I was like, oh, is this? That was the
My
beginning. I
mind
can't
don't
do it
jiggle,
sitting
jiggle,
down
it
because my desk is in
folds.
the way. But
So it's jiggle jiggle, it folds, right?
yeah.
Okay. Hey Darby, guess what? It's your turn.
Wahoo!
Wahoo! Wah!
5.
5.
5?
5. All right, God. Now we're going to do 5.
You alright, mate?
I don't know why we're talking in a Cockney accent, but that's all right.
Oh, nay.
My hip is stuck. My hip is stuck.
Well, unstick it.
Okay.
What? Sorry, folks. R.I.P. your earbuds.
It really hurt.
Okay.
You gonna die?
Oh God.
One day.
One day.
Okay. What is the best compliment that a stranger has ever given you?
I like just talked about this the other day with someone, and I don't remember what my thing was.
So they weren't. This is a more recent one. They weren't a They were a mutual on Twitter, but strangers in the sense that I haven't spoken to them very much, and I was invited to be on their. Or asked if I think I asked to be on their show. Like I just saw that they were looking for interviews, and I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And they told me that their show was inspired by mine, and I'm
Aw.
like, wait, what? Like I literally like just panic froze in the middle of. I'm like, how? What? Why? Who? What? And they're like, well, because you do all the discussion episodes, and I really like the way that you handle those and how you talk about X, Y, Z, and da, da, da. I'm like, you listen to my show, okay? So I know, like some people do, but this is weird. But thank you. I don't know how to accept compliments.
I think the weirdest one that I've ever gotten was uh I was in a witchy store, surprising no one, and just browsing through stuff, and this lady comes in. She's clearly just gotten out of the hospital, and she looks over at me and says, "You have such a healing spirit. Can I hug you?" And I said, "No, but I'll shake your hand."
Oh.
Uh, so that was the weirdest compliment that I've ever gotten.
don't get a lot of very varied compliments. It's like, you're tall. Thanks. Compliment my skills is nice. I did one time have my roommate in college walk in and tell me I had a nice head shape and that I would look good bald. And I was like, oh, maybe someday. Thanks. That was a very weird compliment. I was like, cool. Guess I can pull off a shaved head.
Yeah. Darby, you got one or no?
Nope.
No.
I can't remember the last time a stranger complimented me.
I get a lot of "I like your hair" from strangers.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's what happens when we have fun colored hair.
I did get a random compliment about my tattoo when I was in the middle of getting it because someone's like, "Oh, cool, shit, a D&D tattoo? That's awesome." And then that was the extent of it. I was like, yes. Thank you.
I remember when I was getting my foot tattoo. Ow. Sitting there and like everyone coming in and like one complimenting, but then being like, oh man, like those hurt so bad. I was like crying when I got mine. I'm sitting here actively like, I will murder you. Please walk away. I'm trying to ignore this pain, but
Yeah.
cool.
So regarding tattoos, I have a tattoo right here. So obviously I did not have a shirt on. I had a little blanket that I was holding, and it was, winter in Massachusetts. And people just walking in, and I learned not to be ashamed of my body because they all wanted to see what I was getting done right here. And they're like, "Do you feel that?" I'm like, "No, I have nerve damage, so I don't feel anything."
Oh my gosh.
So now I'm a certified badass.
Nice.
Nice. Guess whose turn it is? It's Taylor's turn.
Awesome.
That's a lot of random
Five.
What did you get? 5. Cinco. I don't think I want to do that one because I don't think people want to talk about their dads. I mean, I will always talk about my dad, but that's because I have a better relationship now with him than I did before.
I got jokes about my dad. They're pretty.
Yeah. So we're gonna skip that one. Ooh. If you could get to know someone in your life on a deeper level, who would it be and why? I love that question.
Say it one more time.
If you could get to know someone in your life on a deeper level, who would it be and why?
I think mine would be my kid, but I want it in a way where there isn't any blockades from past traumas to learn that. I want to learn who they truly are, not what their past has made them. That's what I would like. I'm hoping one day that I'll get to see that. I have an adopted child. They're almost 20. I've only been a mom for 4 years.
But that's still cool. For me, it's my siblings. I only got to grow up with them in spurts over the summer. So now I'm starting to get to know them as an adult and spending more time with them, and they are fascinating people.
I feel like there's like, a lot of people, especially with like friends or new friends and stuff that, actively trying to do just in hanging out and doing whatever. I think one that had probably would have been like the answer before would have been like my parents, specifically my mother, because we had kind of a strained relationship from like high school, college age. Um, but we've done a lot to repair that and are very much in that mode currently where it's like I mean, it was a lot of like I was hitting puberty and she was hitting menopause at the same time, and then she did a lot of like self-discovery with like antidepressants and figuring out like that, you know, growing up in like Texas especially, like a lot of people don't think mental health exists. And my family is very much not that, but like my grandmother wouldn't have been the one to be like, "Hey, I think you have anxiety, daughter." So like my mom was kind of learning that a little too late in life for our relationship to be okay at that point. Um, and so like now she's on some good antidepressants, and I'm not a shitty teenager, and like we're doing great now. And which is like a really nice thing that I did not, if you would have asked me, you know, 5 years ago, I'd been like, God, no relationship.
Yeah.
So continue on that. My dad and I have always been close enough, but my dad's not really like a dad. He's
Yeah.
like chill buddy guy, and so it's learning him on a more serious level. Because I'm an only child. I don't have siblings. I'm also in this weird middle of my family where like my mom and my dad are much younger than their siblings. So my next in age cousin is 40 and I'm no, more than that. We're about like 20 years apart. So God, I forget I'm getting old. They're nearly 50 and I'm 30, like nearly 30. And so it's like I didn't have kids, I didn't have family growing up. Everyone was like this weird gap. So it's very much like my friends are kind of like my
Yeah.
family in that sense of like sibling cousin relationships. So that
Darby, you got one?
I don't have one. It's hard because I struggle with feeling like I know a lot of people well, slash, and then also struggle with am I overestimating my value in their life, and do I think I have a deeper relationship with someone than I actually do? So that's sort of what's oscillating in my head.
How much is a
Valid.
parasocial relationship versus a actual social relationship?
Uh huh. There's a lot. Yeah, but there's just lots of people. There's a lot of cool people in this space, and it's hard to get to know people through like just spurts on the internet. Dunno.
is the other one still down in the blue box?
No, she
Oh.
got up. She got up. I'm not sure where she is, but Sparrow has been hunting this particular ribbon all day, and is very proud of herself. Yeah.
I would like to add to this caveat of a question that I'm very happy that I have gotten closer to you three and Blair and Mitch and all the peoples that we play with, and it's been great to just like have people to go to and randomly bitch to and have like
Yes.
random conversations and work with and stuff like that.
It's really cool too, like how, you know, I mean, all of us really met each other through these games, like how quickly you can become comfortable with a person when, yes, you're playing characters and make believe, but there are so many aspects of yourself and like moments you share that it's like you can come so close to someone like so quick and like have that like familiarity or that comfort of like, oh, we've been through some shit. Yes,
Yep.
it was fake shit, but it was real shit.
I found that when I have like when I'm in emotional games, more than anything, I build a really close bond with some of the players. Like the very first game I played with Weave was Colt, which was a very interesting game to choose for me to jump into to that. But um, I got really close to Elliot or Chaos Them on that game because of our characters' connections. And then we started talking outside of the game or like in private chats saying like, hey, do we see these characters like trauma bonding basically in this if we continued going further, and then we started talking and kept talking and realizing, oh shit, we have a lot more in common. And like every other day they would like post something, I'm like, hey, twinsies. Like, we have so many things. And our first actual thing that was the same was like our fear of dolls, which we noticed on the vmix sheet with when the stats, the
The lines and
lines
veils.
and veils were listed, and I saw somebody else had put dolls. I'm like, oh my god, someone else shares this irrational fear with me, and they're like, yes, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Let's compare notes. Also, we just got a $60 anonymous.
Oh my good. Thank you.
Thank you, Anonymous.
My money
We
don't
are-
jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. And make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6 feet 2 in a compact, no slack. But luckily the
I don't know
seats
the
go
rest.
back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine.
Nice. Vince, what's your go-to red wine? Are you a wine person? You said you're getting booze.
My go-to is actually bourbon. I love bourbon. My mom is the red wine drinker, but I will drink red wine. I enjoy a dry wine. So that's a me.
Same.
I only drink vodka cranberry.
Yeah.
Sometimes margaritas. That's better.
Oh, I love margaritas. Margaritas, mojitos. My two, like the only real, and a whiskey sour. Only time I will drink a mixed drink is I guess if you throw lime in it.
I will drink most anything. I can't do tequila too well anymore because bad stomach times with tequila now.
Mhm.
Rum,
But I
spiced
do-
rum specifically.
I love amaretto sours. It's kind of like a bougie drink, but it's very sweet, very alcoholic. Actually, never mind. Change my mind. My favorite drink is soju. I'm looking at a soju bottle right now. Soju
Yes.
slaps. Flavored soju is fucking amazing. Hell yeah.
Yep.
If
I
I
haven't
did
been
not have
drinking
work
much
after
lately.
this.
Just because I got my weed card, so
Noise.
I've been
Yay.
doing that, and that
Mhm.
helps with my pain way more than
Ye
alcohol.
ganja.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Um,
like drinking my sweets, so a lot of alcohol like drinks were off unless I was just like having wine
one-
or beer or.
The one sweet drink I do love is rum chata, especially when mixed in like hot chocolate.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's delicious.
It's so good. And then there's a recipe on their website where you take cheesecake pudding and Cool Whip and you like mix it up with the rum chata and milk and stuff like that, and you make like an alcoholic ice cream that tastes like
Cool.
cheesecake. It's so
I'm-
good.
I'm full. My mom's absolute favorite thing is to do a double shot where it's 1 shot rum chata, 1 shot Fireball, and it tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Nice.
Holy cow!
Well, the first time I ever tried it was because I went to a bar, which I don't do very often. I went with my sister-in-law, and I saw they had pecan pie vodka behind the bar, and I'm like, why? But also, can I try some? So they gave me a shot of it, and I took like 1 sip, which is not how you're supposed to do shots. I know, I don't care. And I'm just like, oh god, that's strong. No, what would I mix with this to make it not so harsh? And they're like, oh, rum chata. I'm like, why would you mix more alcohol into this? I'm so confused, but it worked, and it was really good, and it was smooth because it's like a dairy consistency.
Nice.
It's very
So I'm gonna say that this is gonna be our last question for this session. Sound good, everybody?
Sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
$30 more. Let's hit that number.
Let's go. All right. So I got no wait. That's a 4. So we're gonna do perception. No, we're not doing that one. No, we're not doing that one either. Okay. Who on our call has Instagram?
Me.
Me.
I have a private one.
Okay. What does do we want to do an Instagram based one, or do we want to go on to a different one? where we would look at each other's Instagram and say what it says about us.
Oh, whoa.
I thought about that. I don't know. Mine's pretty. Bleh.
Mine's also
So-
pretty bleh.
I've posted like, a little bit over the last like 4 years. Because I guess technically 2, but it feels like 4.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't have to, especially where Darby yours
Ooh.
is private.
Look at this pretty picture of my dog. I forgot about this one.
Oh,
She's so majestic.
Mine just shows a lot of selfies.
mine's a lot of selfies, cats, and crochet.
Mine's a lot of photos of not my face or body.
Like literally, this is the latest picture that I posted
Aww.
BB.
with her prize.
Yes.
Nice. I do have a very sweaty photo of me with Rebecca Sugar on my Instagram. Mostly because I was like sweating bullets meeting them.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know how to smile, so it's just really pained and awkward.
I will say yesterday I did something risky on my Instagram. So as a non-binary gender fluid person, I have days where I really want to present as masculine, and yesterday was one of those days, but I've never shared it on Instagram until yesterday.
Nice.
Ooh.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Noise.
Yes, this is the shame shirt. I don't care.
I mean,
I didn't sweat, therefore
Fair.
it's clean.
yeah.
Valid.
Yeah, my Instagram's like always because I anxiety all year, seasonal depression real bad. So mine's only active in spring and summertime, but then look how bright and fun it gets. You know, I'm like
Yay!
sunshine. I can see it again. And then it's like, moody, dark photos in the winter. Because I'm like, I hate those.
My last one, because I just literally posted it because I realized I forgot to, because it was still sitting in my drafts, was from the Thirsty Sword lesbian game.
Aww.
Yes!
Hey,
Everybody go watch Happy. It's so fun. Oh
It
my
was
god,
so
they all were
cute.
so good.
I played
I
a super
can't
naive, sweet girl.
That I got to make out with.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I clipped the moment I became smitten with
I did too.
Suki. Oh, yes. I'm
With
smitten. I'm
Suki.
smitten. Oh, the
Love
moment
it.
that she just like looked at its floor, I'm like, I'm smitten. I've fallen.
I got the actual shirt, by the way, the one that my character was wearing. I went and bought it.
Nice.
And so it's one of those
Yeah.
ones that's like crossed over with the little peekaboo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
One day I will be brave enough to wear it and post a picture. But today is not that day. So are we happy with that, or do we want to do one last one?
We could do one last one. I got like
Okay.
10, 13-ish minutes.
Okay. What is the hardest part of your job?
Finding it.
It's a mood. And also accurate.
My money don't jiggle jiggle. It folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle for sure. And make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat. You really have to see it. 6 feet 2 in a compact. No slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind. Sipping some red,
Just
red
watching Taylor right
wine.
now.
No, I don't know. Yes!
Your face is just like,
Yeah, we did it.
why'd you bleep did it?
I don't know, because I just pressing the button. It's kind of funny. It's just yeah.
I am clipping all of that right now.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. We hit $300 for Planned Parenthood.
Yes. This was a good way to cope for a little bit, y'all.
Yo.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Alright.
Also,
What's our
So-
wrap?
hardest thing for a
Question.
job.
Interesting question.
All right. So, what is the hardest part
Right.
of your job?
um,
And if you were not employed, what is the hardest part of the job that you want?
I'd say mine currently and always because is time management. So especially like juggling a lot of clients and figuring out when and where and how to get everything done at the right time. Blah, 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 blah. That is the hardest part. The actual job itself, Illustrator. God, I have had to use that a lot. That's hard. I don't remember how to use it. But definitely the balance of time.
time management's a huge one. I think for me, it's knowing when to say I did enough, because I am a workaholic who works because of anxiety, and if I don't work enough, I get more anxious. So I just keep doing more and more and more and more and take on more projects. And oh, you want to offer me money for something? Awesome, give me, I'll do it. And just it becomes more of a time management issue because I take on too much at that point that I shouldn't have taken on. But I have gotten better at turning down things if I don't want to do them. Also, if I logistically can't do them.
Right.
Yeah, that's the saying no thing has been hard for me, but it's like I started my working career in news as a producer where it had to get done and it had to get done by 5 o'clock, and you're the one in charge of making sure it gets done. And that's a very hard mentality to break of like, okay, I can make it happen. Like, yeah, I can, but do you need to?
Yeah,
Can you feasibly in your soul do it?
I think the first time I actually was like, it's okay if I miss an episode for my podcast was the most like relieving thing ever, because I was so stuck on this. I cannot miss an episode. I've been nonstop every week, 2 times a week, no issues, no skipped episodes. And the one time I skipped, I posted twice the next week to make up for it. It was like, but now, like this week, it was impossible. I could not get it done unless I stayed up all night. I was not going to be able to get my episode edited and be happy with the quality of it. And instead of canceling my plans and like working on it, instead I just said, you know what? Y'all gotta wait 2 weeks. Sorry. Peace out. Enjoy. Go listen to the last 2 episodes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be there in 2 weeks. Whatever.
Also, what do you do? I should ask so that people can get some context. You are there. You go.
I am a freelancer that does audio editing, professional GMing, TTRPG development, writing, podcast consultation, and producing.
Okay.
Also, podcasting and streaming.
Nice. Yeah, I do a lot of production and writing things, but mostly freelance video editing and graphic design and website design and make things look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Hire me.
Darby.
I can draw things too. Do you need your character drawn?
Yes.
I can do that.
Okay.
I think I don't like not being able to get people the things that they ask for. Like, I am a serial people pleaser, and or something goes wrong, I'm like, it's my fault, I fucked it up, it's me, I did. Not as opposed to going, someone else fucked it up. Like, even if I wasn't like involved in something, I'm like, oh, I should have done more, I should have done something, da 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 da. But how that translates to my retail job is someone's like, oh, do you have this thing in stock? I'm like, I'm so sorry, we don't have it in stock.
What is it that you do?
I work in a retail hobby shop.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Yeah.
Me are dumb.
you are no dumb. But the job that I would like to do, I don't know. I've done a lot of conflict resolution in my life, I've I was the president of a fraternity, which I believe fraternities and sororities to be a mistake in the universe. So take that with a grain of salt. But I had to do a lot of conflict resolution for people, and sometimes there is just not a fun answer for a conflict resolution, and that fucking blows. And you can't. It's not possible to make everyone happy, and that is probably the worst part of like managing communities is sometimes like you just can't resolve some issues even if you really want to like have everyone be okay with each other, but sometimes you can't. And I don't mean like, oh, this person's like a shit scumbag and like I'm not gonna kick him out of my no, kick fuckers out of your community. They stink, they make your community stink, kick them out. But like when it's just like a genuine just like something where you just kind of wish it would be okay and it could have been okay, but it just isn't. That stuff sucks. That just stinks. It hurts.
For me, so my job is I edit and do quality control on audiobooks. And I think the hardest part for me is shutting off that editor brain when I'm trying to enjoy an audiobook I'm not working.
Mm-hmm.
Or not getting lost in a really good audiobook that I'm working on and then have to go back and make sure that I'm doing the quality control again.
Yep.
So that's the hardest part of my job.
I still to this day critique live TV productions so much. I'm like, oh, misclicked on the mic. I saw that. They're like, oh, they were supposed to switch cameras and they didn't, did they?
So what's funny is like I was an quality control person for my job. So like I'm supposed to purposely pick up the problems in things. So not necessarily for books, but for like very specific worded calls that had to follow a very strict script.
Yep.
Verbatim. And now that I edit, when I'm editing, I hear every single time somebody makes a mistake, and it starts to get more and more annoying as it goes on. But when I'm playing and I'm actually in the game, it doesn't bother me. Like I'm good. Like it's fine, and I know I have things that I say that would irritate me if other people did. I say like so goddamn much, and I only notice when I'm
Me
editing
too.
myself.
Same. Oh, and I get so mad at myself. I'm like, Taylor, stop.
But I've gotten better, which is my biggest thing for myself is I will still say but I will say and pause, and I've taught myself how to do that so that I can just cut it out.
Yep.
But what I used to do, and I stopped myself from doing this because I realized, hey, you can't fucking fix this if you keep doing the same mistake, is when I couldn't think of what I wanted to say, I would start talking and prolong my words. And then once I realized what I wanted to say, I would just continue the sentence on at normal speed. So I would say, so she's going to walk around the bend and then look at the person, like, and I can't fix the she's going to part, but that part is needed to make sense of the rest of the sentence. So I'd have to like re-record that portion every single time, and it got irritating. So it's turning, like you said, it's turning off that part of your brain sometimes, because if you're in the middle of the game, it's fine. If I'm just listening to it, I'll hear it if it's obnoxiously obvious. Like if someone says a lot, like a lot, or kind of sort of every other word, then I'll start to notice it and I'm like, stop it, stop it. No. I just want to go like smack their hand. Like, no.
Clive TV, thank you for the $80 donation.
Only don't jiggle, jiggle. It folds. I like to see you wiggle, wiggle. For sure. Make them on a dribble, dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat. You really have to see it. 6 feet 2 in a compact. No slack, but luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind. Sipping some red wine. Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. What a way,
guys.
What a way to end the stream. Thank you so much to everybody who donated for this worthy cause. remember that if you are planning to go to the cinema, regarding the things that that have happened, remember to look up safety tools and things like that. If you have not joined our Discord or follow us on Twitter, we have listed some great things to do in order to keep yourself safe and happy during your cinema viewing experience. So you can join us on Discord. Yes, don't forget your popcorn. Make sure you turn your cell phones off. All that jazz. So we've got those tips and tricks both on our Twitter and our Discord. Please be safe. Know that we absolutely adore you, and we can make a difference if we all come together, because when one of us is threatened, all of us roll for initiative. Do we want to promote ourselves, or do we just want to end it there? Because I feel like
I'm good with
this is our home.
You can find us on socials, and we live here, you know.
We do. And you can come back tomorrow for some necrobiotic, yes? Yes.
Yes, we come back tomorrow at 6. I get to cause trauma to others.
Come join for some escapism.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is I will be on 2000 Tales role-playing on YouTube tonight at 9 p.m. You should come watch, because I might be proposing in character to my character's girlfriend.
Hell
So you don't have any good vibes. That's happening tonight, so come and watch.
And then more good vibes on Sunday for Thirsty Sword Lesbians, where I am going to break people's hearts, but in the best way possible.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this impromptu stream. I will take us out, and take care of yourselves today.
Do we want to raid someone?
Be good.
Do we want to raid someone? Let's see who's online. Who's doing a thing? You know who's doing a thing?
I see Voidcat online right now.
Ooh, yeah, let's go raid Voidcat. Voidcat is one of my players.
That is correctamundo. I'm gonna.
Are they doing chainmail?
They're playing God mode.
Ah, nice.
Oh, they're playing Hades. That's what they're playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So
let's
go give Voidcat some love.
Characters.
They are wonderful and amazing.
Great. Okie dokie. Alrighty. I will take us out. So wave goodbye.
Hey.
Bye. Take care of yourselves.